Cortland, and Ithaca. Two teams, one day, one Cortaca Jug. It's the passion of small college towns competing in the biggest Division III game of the year, with fans ready to break college attendance records at MetLife Stadium.
Takes a quick snap, throws to the left side to Gladney. One-on-one coverage up the end zone, falling to his back, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Will Gladney starting out the 59 Jug with the bang, and the Bombers have their first 6-0 lead to start out Cortaca.
The teams have played each other since 1930, but the Jug was introduced in 1959. The Cortaca Jug will find its place where a Super Bowl has been played and won. The Bombers lead the series and have kept the Jug on the South Node for the last 2 years.
Trips to his left, takes the snap, throws to the left side to Cesara into the end zone. Who makes the catch? J.R. Cesara.
The Red Dragons are eager to capture the Jug and return it to its birthplace. The teams are hungrier than ever, and the rivalry has never been stronger.
I might turn up by myself.
Hello, IC Bombers. Thank you for tuning in to our Cortaca Rivalry replay. We already know the outcome of this game, but that's not what this moment is all about. Today is about affirming our connection as a community. It's about celebrating our IC pride and staying IC strong. It's about embracing our history and our traditions and looking ahead, looking to one another as we move into the future as an IC family. I remember this day. It was so clear. Being on the field at MetLife Stadium, cheering on to victory not only our incredible Bombers football team, but reveling in the joy of the moment with our cheerleaders, with our African drumming and dance students, with our dedicated students who volunteered across all academic interests to make this monumental event a huge success. For all those involved, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And Cortaca 2019 couldn't have been possible without the support of our generous alumni and the hard work of so many faculty, staff, and students. We remain extremely grateful. IC was on a national stage that day. We broke the Division III attendance record with well over 45,000 people in attendance. And we were leading a national conversation in the New York Times and on ESPN about the power of sports and experiential learning. I hope you enjoyed today's rivalry replay, and we can't wait to cheer on our Bombers in person together soon. Go Bombers!
Please welcome to the field from the Liberty League Conference with a season record of 7-2, the Ithaca College Bombers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Remove your hats and join us in honoring America with a presentation of the colors by the Cornell ROTC Battalion, consisting of cadets Cloris Shaw Baker, Harrison Brown, and Matt Palmer from Cornell University, Cadet Sydney DeBaradinas from SUNY Cortland, and Cadets Beth Ryan and Tyler Cross from Ithaca College. Performing America the Beautiful and our national anthem, please welcome the Ithaca College Choir under the direction of Janet Galvan. ladies and gentlemen, the Ithaca College Choir.
Cortaca 2019, best day ever. Welcome to our Cortaca 2019 rebroadcast, the largest gathering of IC alumni in one place, showcasing the best of Ithaca College in the limelight of New York City with performances by our phenomenal School of Music, Park School of Communications, event management, fan engagement, and record-breaking attendance by students from the School of Business, athletic training students, and a fantastic Bomber victory on the field. It was magic, a triumph for Ithaca College. We miss you all so much. Our Bombers are busy at work preparing for our return to campus and eventually our return to competition. Our coaches and student athletes are working with the usual Bomber sense of purpose. We will be back and we will be ready. Be well and stay safe. Go Bombers.
We are just about ready to kick this one off. Ithaca will receive the first half kickoff. Cortland wearing all white with red stripes and red lettering. The Bombers in there all blue with the white stripes and white numbering. Cortland kicking off from right to left. It's Nick Mongelli. And the ball blew off the tee.
That's fitting, right?
That's extremely fitting, Matthias. All the hype, all the atmosphere. And we've got to wait another couple seconds before we get this one going.
So what Coach Dan Swanstrom called possibly the biggest game in D3 football history starts with the ball coming off the tee.
Mongelli puts the ball back on the tee. I'd say it's fairly breezy down on the sidelines. MetLife has a bit of a reputation as a real wind tunnel. Looking at the flags on top of the goalposts, they're moving kind of in and out, not terribly windy. But here's Mongelli striding up, and this one is off. We are underway at the 61st annual Cortaca Jug. Kickoff fielded by A.J. Clifford right at the goal line. Clifford up the middle of the field, showing some patience, runs into a number of Cortland defenders, brought down at the 20-yard line, and that's where this Bombers offense will start.
And you talk about this Bombers offense. This is an offense that wants to start quickly. They ran 3 plays before they were trailing 21-0 against RPI last week. This is Joe Germinario, a quarterback who has played against Cortland before 3 times. This is his 4th ever game. Of course, when he was with Brockport in the EA, he played against them. He knows this defense very well, Ben.
Here's Germinario and the Ithaca College offense taking over right at the 20-yard line. 2 receivers to Germinario's left. One to the right is Will Gladney. Snap to Germinario. It's a run himself. Off the left-hand side of the line. Breaks through the first tackle. Runs through the second. 6-yard pickup for Joe Germinario. Tackle made by Gregory Alfieri, a captain for this Cortland defense. Had 6 tackles against Ithaca last Cortaca. Second down.
If you scout this Ithaca offense, you have to be aware of Joe Germinario's ability to run the ball. He's done it against Cortland the past 3 times he's played against them. 4 rushing touchdowns this season.
7-yard pickup for Germinario. An official doze down now, so we've got a ball falling off the tee, an official tripping over, I believe, a Cortland defensive lineman. 30 seconds gone in this first quarter from MetLife Stadium. 2nd and 3 for the Bombers. Trips right, 1 receiver to the left. Germinario's got the snap. Quick pass to Andrew Vito. Vito picks up the first down, a little bit more than that, out to the 34-yard line. Stone Murray making the stop. First down Bombers.
Well, Andrew Vito is that safety blanket for the Bombers offense. All career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He's leading the Liberty League and the team 109 yards per game. Of course, he missed 1 game earlier in the season, but Andrew Vito, 6th in the nation in receptions per game.
A minute gone by in the first quarter. Empty backfield for Ithaca now. 3 receivers to Germinario's left, 2 to the right. 1st and 10 from the Ithaca 37-yard line. The Bombers working left to right. Germinario looking back to the sideline. Isaiah DeHady comes in motion now. He takes up beside Germinario's right hip. Snap to Germinario. Quick pass to Vito on the right sideline. Out to the 40-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. About a 3-yard pickup. Dylan Dubuque making the stop.
For this Ithaca offense, they really want to get back to what they did at the beginning of the season. They've struggled the past 2 games. Of course, they picked the worst 2 games to struggle. But if they can get back to doing what they do best, this is a borderline unstoppable offense. You talk about 40 points per game for this offense.
Andrew Vito gained 2 yards. 2nd and 8 now, just about 2 minutes gone in the first quarter.
No Kendall Anderson so far.
Anderson over 100 yards in Cortaca last year. Empty backfield for the Bombers again. Germinario clapping his hands for the snap. Looking back towards the Ithaca sideline. 13 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score yet. Germinario's got the snap, dropping back. He's going to climb the pocket and take off. Germinario out past the 45-yard line to the 50, running through arm tackles into Cortland territory. 15-yard rush for Joe Germanario. Anthony Dalsey making the tackle, but not before Germanario gets into Cortland territory.
Well, if you like rushing quarterbacks, you're in for a treat today. Both these quarterbacks capable of running the ball, and Joe Germanario is not one to slide. He will go through the defender. You talk about the 6'3", 225-pound frame for Joe Germanario.
Germanario, a strong runner, picks up the first down there. 1st and 10 from the Cortland 46. Ball right between the two hash marks. Andrew Vito and Jacob Cooney on the right side of the offensive formation. Will Gladney alone on the left. Still no Kendall Anderson. It's Isaiah DeHady as the tailback for Ithaca. Snap to Germanario. Play action, rolling right. Hits Will Gladney over the middle of the field, broken up. Joshua Cordero got a hand right in the basket of Will Gladney. Incomplete pass, 2nd down.
Well, going back to what the gentleman said on CTK, I believe it was Quentin who said he doesn't expect Ithaca to run the ball this game, and we've kind of seen the past couple weeks the offense has struggled to establish a strong pass game because defenses know they're not going to run the ball too often. I'm going to be interested to see if Coach Dan Swanstrom elects to run the ball at least on 1st and 2nd down.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass, a little over 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. The handoff is to Isaiah DeHady, straight up the middle of the field, hit by Greg Alfieri and others. DeHady got upended, gain of 4 yards, 3rd down.
Well, we know all about this 3rd down offense for the Bombers, 53%. That is nationally ranked for them. This is a Bombers offense that can get down the field, and they need to score early here. I think they want to get the momentum and really get back to what their offense has done all season long.
Dante Garcia in the game now. Trips left for the Bombers, no one to the right. 3rd and 6 from the Cortland 42-yard line. Under 12 minutes to play in the first quarter as Joe Germanario looks back to his own sideline. The offensive coaches using their hand signals for Germanario. Snap to Joe, dropping back. Dancing around in the pocket. Hits Will Gladney over the middle of the field, 1st down Bombers. Will Gladney found the soft spot in the zone and sat right in it. Good for the Ithaca 1st down. It was Evans Rivera in coverage.
Well, that's just what Joe Germanario does best. He can keep the plays alive with his feet and then finds the receiver over the middle.
Quick to the line of the Bombers. 2 receivers on each side. Kendall Anderson in the back now. Screen pass over to Will Gladney, who skies and makes the catch. Gladney out past the 20-yard line, dragging a Cortland defender with him. 10-yard pickup for Will Gladney. No signal yet. He was real close to the line to gain. They give it to him. 1st down Ithaca.
Well, the Bombers need to be careful there. They like to run that set very often, the bunch set on the left side or the stack set with Austin Hedgeland with the lead blocker, the tight end. But that ball, if it sails, it could be dangerous or potentially an interception. We saw that last week.
Correction here, 2nd and 1, maybe half a yard gain for the Bombers. 10.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, no score. Ithaca into the red zone. Germanario takes a snap. It's a handoff to Kendall Anderson. Anderson sprinting off the right side, out to the 15-yard line, out to the 14. Finally pushed out of bounds by Stone Murray. 1st down Bombers.
Well, that's what Kendall Anderson does best. He is the speed back on this team, and he is good at finding the edge. And if the Bombers can get this run game going, that they are putting this Cortland defense, which is very good, in a very difficult spot because you have 4 or 5 receivers on the Bombers who can catch the ball at any given time. And then if Kendall Anderson and Isaiah DeHady can get going in the run game, how do you stop this offense?
1st and 10 from the Bombers at the Cortland 13-yard line. 10 minutes even to go in this first quarter. Bombers in the red zone this season, converting on 89% of their drives, 69% of those going for touchdowns. Germanario clapping his hands. The handoff to Kendall Anderson off the left side. Anderson putting his shoulder down, picks up about 6 yards. 2 Cortland defenders combining on the tackle. 2nd down right around the 10-yard line. Let's see where they spot this.
Well, there's been so much talk this week about what Coach Dan Swanstrom had been running for game plan, and we heard in Coach's Corner that he kind of had to throw his game plan out very quickly against RPI. I like what he's running early in this game, establishing the run game and putting Joe Germanario in position to succeed.
Ball spotted on the 8-yard line, still right between the two hash marks. Coming up on 9:15 to go in the first quarter. Zeros on the scoreboard. 2 receivers to Germanario's right as he takes the snap, looking to pass. It's the quarterback draw. Germanario stiff-arming away from one defender out to the 5-yard line before J.J. Pasqualoni drags him down from behind. 3rd and short for Ithaca.
Well, Germanario had the opening, but great recognition from Pasqualoni.
Ithaca quickly to the line. Germanario under center now. He's going to sneak it himself off the left side. Picks up the 1st down right at the goal line. They say he's down at the 1.
Hey, it's Ed Cohen, radio voice of the New York Knicks, Ithaca class of 2005. I was lucky to be at MetLife Stadium last year with my friends for the Cortaca Jug game. Had a Knicks game at night at the Garden. It was a doubleheader, and you know what the highlight was for me, obviously. So let's get right to it. What an opening drive for the Bombers. 12 plays already, 79 yards, and they are knocking on the door, trying to strike first in this historic Cortaca Jug game at MetLife Stadium. Can Ithaca make it 3 straight wins in the series? All right, first and goal from the 1. Germanario just gained 3 yards for the first down, will come under center. It's a single back set for Ithaca, approaching the New York City side of MetLife. Takes a snap, Germanario dives, he's in! Touchdown Bombers! A brilliant start for Ithaca. 6-0 with 8:25 to go in the first quarter, just as they wanted to see here against their rival in New Jersey. Germanario, just fantastic. The Brockport transfer guides the Bombers down the field, and the fans are loving it. Feels like Butterfield at MetLife. They've been waiting a long time for this. Extra point set up. Ithaca trying to take a 7-0 lead. Here is the snap. Spot is down, kick on the way, and it is good. 7-0 Bombers. What a start here for Coach Dan Swanstrom and his team. Well, they waited long and hard for this game, trying to set a Division III attendance record, and you can see they are revved up in the swamps of Jersey. Hey, they've got some Knicks hats on as well. Great to see. You figure some fans still tailgating. They'll be in soon enough, but the big story, Bombers 7-0 over Cortland here in the first quarter at MetLife.
Now the Bombers break into that more stereotypical kickoff formation. Players all lined up across the 30-yard line, but Monday steps back to the 25 before the ball blows off the tee.
Well, why not, right? If you're the Bombers offense and you look at what Coach Swanstrom has done the past 2 Cortaca Jugs, of course, 2-0 is Swanstrom at the helm. Bombers have scored first in each of those Cortacas, so if you're rooting for the Bombers today, they're on the right track.
7-0 Ithaca, 8.5 to go in the first quarter. Here's Bamunde strolling up, gets this one off deep. Towards the right sideline. Fielded by Cortland, up the right side. Out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. It was Angelo Foster returning it. Cortland will take over inside their own 20-yard line.
Something we haven't even talked about today is the special teams for both teams. Cortland leading the nation with 10 block punts. Ithaca has not allowed one this season, and Ithaca has been very good on special teams. Of course, last week, A.J. Clifford did fumble on a kickoff return, the only one of the season, so that is something to watch. Ithaca has to play a clean game. And now Cortland needs to come back and drive down the field and get some points on the board.
1st and 10 for the Red Dragons from their own 18-yard line. 3 running backs in the backfield for the Red Dragons. The snap to Segala, play fake, he's going to roll out to the left. Looking for a target, going over the middle of the field, incomplete pass. Was looking for Jason Carlock on the over route, incomplete, 2nd down.
Well, originally he was looking for Angelo Foster on the flat route, but Nick Garone immediately saw what the play was happening, and he dropped back and covered that one up, and Segala really had nowhere to go. Again, if you're both of these quarterbacks, you do not want to be making mistakes today.
2nd and 10, 8:15 to play in the first quarter. Ithaca up 7-0. Man in motion for the Red Dragons. Now Segala takes a snap. Hand off to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi up the middle of the field. Picks up 5 yards, 3rd down.
Tripodi, a really talented runner for this Cortland offense. 5.7 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards on the season. If the Bombers want to shut down this offense, it needs to start with Tripodi. That's what Coach Swanstrom said, that everything starts with their tailback.
3rd and 5 for Cortland. Under 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Trips left, 1 receiver to the right. Tripodi stays in the game at tailback. Segala's got the snap, dropping back to pass, scampering out to his right. Throws it towards a Cortland wide receiver. A flag is out on the play. Anthony Robinson was in coverage on the Cortland wideout. We'll see what this flag is. As it stands as an incomplete pass, but the Bomber defense is starting to backpedal.
And I think Robinson had good positioning there, but when he came back to the ball, he got too much of the receiver.
Still no official word from the officials. Now the Cortland offense is going back towards the original line of scrimmage. As you hear there, pass interference against the sophomore defensive back, Anthony Robinson. 11 pass breakups this season, no interceptions.
Well, Ben, what I like about a neutral field is that they made that call and you heard a mixture of boos and cheers. So this should be interesting to see as the stadium starts filling up more and more as we get deeper into the first quarter, is who's really going to control the momentum in terms of off the field.
First down for the Cortland Red Dragons from their own 38-yard line. They're working right to left. Snap the handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi looking for space off the right side of the offensive line, hit by Antonio Valley. Gain of 3 yards, second down.
Well, you talk about the Cortland defensive line being active. How about this defensive line for the Bombers? Ed Longus has really come into his own this season. 43 tackles for the sophomore. This is really the first time he's played a lot. And this is someone that Coach Turper said he was at the top of their recruiting list.
3-yard pickup for Tripodi, senior out of New Fairfield, Connecticut. 2nd and 7. We've got 7 minutes to play in this first quarter. It's a reverse for Cortland. That was Angelo Foster on the reverse, just getting past the first down line. The official will move the chains. New set of downs for the Red Dragons.
Coach Turper talked to us a lot about the motion that Cortland likes to run, a lot of players moving around the line of scrimmage. That's something that communication is going to be key for the Bombers.
The officials now getting the ball set. They move the chains. Cortland got a first down on their own 47-yard line, not into Ithaca territory yet. 7-0 Bombers lead. Snap to Segala. Handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi dancing around, scampering to the right side, hurdling over one defender before being brought down. Gain of 1 yard, was able to avoid the tackle from Kyrie Brown with an impressive hurdle move. 2nd and 9.
Well, the Bombers do a great job of tackling behind the line of scrimmage. You can really tell the difference on how this defense is playing. If they can make the tackles behind the line of scrimmage, obviously you push the offense behind the chains. That is going to be huge against Tripodi.
2nd and 9. Ball just about at midfield. 6 minutes to play as Ithaca leads 7-0. It's a bad snap. Segala falls over. John Haddock dives on the ball. Antonio Valley says he's got it. Bombers ball. Brett Segala fumbled the snap. Ed Longus and John Haddock both dive right on it, and Ithaca's got the ball in Cortland territory.
Well, when we were speaking, to former captain and linebacker Kenny Bradley, he said that your first couple of plays on offense are a little tricky because there's so much emotion going into a Cortaca jug. For the Bombers on offense, not a lot of struggles, and then for Cortland, just a miscommunication, a bad snap, and the Bombers are able to jump on top of it.
I'm looking at the video board here at MetLife, Matthias. I don't even think that was a bad snap. It hit Segala right in the hands. Anyways, 1st and 10 for the Bombers from the Cortland 41-yard line. Snap to Germanario. Play action. Heaves one deep down the sideline to Will Gladney. Gladney fighting for possession. Lots of contact. And there goes the flag. Joshua Cordero was all over Will Gladney on that deep shot. Gladney, 14 receiving touchdowns this year. He's celebrating with his teammates. He knows he just gave the Bombers an extra 15 yards.
Well, I think that's a case of Cordero not knowing that he has safety help over the top because he was all over Gladney and he was really just standing right in front of him, did not even try to make a play on the ball. And this is a play we see very often. I'm not even sure you can call it a play. It's just Germanario saying, Gladney, go deep. He's going to try to throw it to him. It's either a touchdown most times or it's going to be a flag like that. The Bombers are taking these shots down the field, and now if they can establish this run game, they have a complete offensive game plan.
Under 6 minutes to go. Ithaca 1st and 10 from the Cortland 26-yard line. Bombers lead 7-0 thanks to the Joe Germanario rushing touchdown. The Bombers looking back to the sideline. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Isaiah DeHady, the running back, he's on Germanario's right hip. Snap to Germanario. It's a handoff to DeHady. DeHady cuts inside the first defender before he's bottled up. 3-yard rush, Gregory Alfieri leading the charge on the tackle. 2nd down, Ithaca.
Again, the active defensive line for Cortland, I think that's the best way to put it. You talk about the quarterback hit numbers. 3 of them on the defensive line, have over 10. And then Greg Alfieri comes in with 9. He is really the leader, the de facto leader in the linebacking core.
2nd and 8 after the DeHady handoff. Germanario clapping his hands now, looks back to the sideline. 5:15 to go in the first quarter from MetLife Stadium. 3 players in motion for the Bombers, 3-by-1 set for them now. Germanario's got the handoff, looking right side for Andrew Vito. Vito corrals it in the flat, out past the 20-yard line. To the 15, Vito's got the ball on the ground, falls right back on top of it. We've got a flag out now right near the line of scrimmage. Paul Imperiale made the initial stop. We'll have to see what this flag is.
I think it's going to be a hold on the Bombers.
That's Brendon Martin, the sophomore right tackle, played in 7 games in the 2018 season. He's been starting every game this year.
It's interesting to see what the Bombers are doing on the offensive line. It's been Jake Villanueva. He usually plays right guard, now moving over to the left side. Andrew Testani now playing more of a backup role. And it's the senior Jimmy Puckey, who we got to talk to in practice this week, that's starting in at right guard. And this offensive line has to have their best game of the season against this Cortland defense, because they did not play well last week.
10-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 18 from the Cortland 34. Empty backfield for IC. 3 receivers on the right side, 2 to the left. Mikey Anderson checking into the game for the first time, the sophomore wideout from Syracuse. Over 500 yards receiving for Anderson. Germanario's got the snap. Hits Andrew Vito on the left side. Vito out past the original line of scrimmage, dives forward. We've got a late flag coming in right near where Vito went out of bounds. Greg Alfieri in coverage on Andrew Vito.
I think it's going to be on the Bombers again. That's the way that Joe Germinario signaling it.
Pleading his case to the officials. My guess is it's going to be against Gladney for offensive pass interference. The Bombers working in the wrong direction right now, Matthias.
And now we're starting to see this game get a little more sloppy. The crowd's getting into it. Again, communication is really difficult. John Haddock said that they struggle to communicate in regular Cortaca jugs when there are 10,000 people. Imagine 45,000 people here. It's a lot harder. They have a lot of different signals. Haddock was telling us that the linebackers are coming up and relaying the calls to the defensive line, and I would imagine it's very similar for the offense.
2nd and 33. For this Ithaca offense, the ball at the Cortland 49. The snap to Germinario, quarterback keeper. Germinario running off the left side of his offensive line, tripped up by a Cortland Red Dragon. It was Dylan Studer upending Joe Germinario. About a 6-yard rush, 3rd and very long.
Yeah, 3rd and very long. If you're the Bombers here, it's going to be interesting to see what they call. I think you just call a run up the middle, because the position you're in right now, Enzo Martolucci or Brian Fallon, your punters, can really pin Cortland back.
Well, Germinario's got an empty backfield, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 3rd and 26. We're under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ithaca up 7-0 in the 61st Cortaca Jug. 7 on the play clock. Germinario waiting for the snap. He's got it now, dropping back to pass. Quarterback draw, straight up the middle of the field. Germinario running behind an offensive lineman out to the 32-yard line, taking hits from 3 different Cortland defenders, including Devin Smith and Paul Imperiale. Ithaca's got the ball at the 31-yard line. This is, as best as we can tell, Matthias, within Nick Bamunde's range. 4th and 15. Let's see what Coach Swanstrom goes with here. And it will be the kick team starring freshman Nick Bamunde.
And he has not kicked a field goal in 2 weeks, didn't even kick a PAT last week. But Monday said that he has hit from 60 in practice before. Let's see what his range is.
Michael Roomis setting up as the holder at the 38-yard line. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. Does it have the leg? Just short. An end-over-end kick from Nick Bamunde falls just in front of the crossbar. No points for Ithaca after the fumble. Cortland will take over in Ithaca territory. Toss left side to Zach Tripodi. Bounces off the first tackle. Kyrie Brown made the initial contact before the rest of that Mad Dog defense came in and made the stop.
Clearly the game plan for this Ithaca offense is have Joe Germinario run the ball. Most rushing yards in a game this season was 47 against St. Lawrence. How about 48 already? We're not even out of the first quarter yet.
2-yard gain for Tripodi. 2nd and 8. Just about 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. As a handoff to Zach Tripodi, hit behind the line of scrimmage. Falls forward for about a yard. Nick Garone, senior captain on this Ithaca team, making the tackle. 3rd and 6.
Well, pick your saying. Is it hard hat mentality, mad dogs flock to the ball? The Bombers are doing all of the above, and they are stopping this run attack, and they're forcing Cortland to have to throw the ball every time. This is exactly what Coach Turper likes to do, is take away your best weapon on offense.
3rd and 6 for the Red Dragons from the Cortland 35-yard line. Segala drops back to pass. Fires one over the right sideline, too high for a wideout. It was Angelo Foster, the intended receiver. Incomplete pass, fourth down, Kyrie Brown in man-to-man coverage there.
Well, they like putting Kyrie Brown with the over-the-top help. That time it was Cade McDermott, the free safety, a sophomore Cade McDermott and Kyrie Brown, the junior, combining in coverage, and then they'll usually have Anthony Robinson, the sophomore, playing one-on-one coverage.
Liam Casey on to punt, averaging 38 yards a kick. Some motion from the Cortland punt team. Cortland, one of the best special teams units in Division III. The snap to Liam Casey. Gets this one off cleanly. Spiraling kick to Mikey Anderson. Takes the bounce out to the 30-yard line of the Bombers, into the 30 to the 26-yard line to the 25. That ball just keeps on rolling.
Cortaca Replay is brought to you in part by Tompkins Trust Company. As Central New York's community bank, we understand why. Local is at the heart of who we are and what we do. We're here to help our communities thrive and grow, and that includes you. From the budding entrepreneur with the next big idea, to the busy parents looking for the perfect home. We've been there. We don't just work here, we live here too. Serving the community for more than 180 years. Locally focused, a world of possibilities.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. All week in practice, and including the press conference we attended earlier this week, the vibe was that this is just another game, but everything that can be thrown at both of these teams in terms of it not being another game has been thrown at. Both teams came out of the tunnel. There was fireworks after a very good national anthem performance. It has a big game feel here as the attendance record has been broken. Once we get official word of that number, we will provide it to you. But it's living up to expectations. Cortaca is a big game, and so far the Bombers are playing well with 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Guys?
Thank you, John. 2-yard gain for Kendall Anderson on that first down. As John mentioned, an expected D3 attendance record at stake today at MetLife Stadium. We approach 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. 7-0 Ithaca leads Cortland. Empty backfield for Joe Germanario from his own 27-yard line. Play action, sprint out to the right, avoids the sack, finally brought down. Devin Smith made the initial contact and dragged him down with help from J.J. Pasqualoni. Germanario goes down on second down, third and long for the Bombers.
Obviously, you don't want to take the sack if you're the Bombers, but you like to see that Joe Germanario didn't try to fit that ball in. The past couple weeks, we've seen him make some questionable decisions, we can call it that. That time, the smart play by Germanario to just go down.
And that will do it for the first quarter from MetLife Stadium.
And the winner of a Cortaca prize pack is Thomas Tanner, class of '88. Congratulations, Thomas. This prize was made possible by Tompkins Trust Company. Locally focused, a world of possibilities.
The Ithaca College Annual Fund supports the student experience by filling the gaps student tuition, fees, and other donations don't cover.
The Senior Class Gift Committee is working with the Annual Fund to help support future students and IC traditions.
This year, we need 375 seniors, or 25% of our class, to join us in giving to the Ithaca College Annual Fund to help us reach our goal.
Our formal kickoff event will be held on December 1st, but you can make a gift at any time by visiting giving.ithaca.edu.
You can double your impact with a dollar-for-dollar match from the Alumni Association Board Directors.
For each dollar raised up to $7,500, the AABD will match your gift, potentially allowing our senior class to raise a total of $15,000 for the IC Annual Fund.
2 receivers to Germanario's left, 2 to the right as well. Dante Garcia, the third down back for head coach Dan Swanstrom. He's in the game to Germanario's left. Germanario looking to those hand signals. 9 on the play clock. 3rd and 8. Germanario's got the snap. Quarterback draw. Germanario through the middle of the defense. He's going to be short of the first down. Tackle made by Devin Smith, the defensive end for the Red Dragons. Germanario picks up about 4 yards. And as of right now, the Ithaca offense is staying on the field on this 4th down. And now here comes the punt team.
I'm not really sure I understand the play call to go for the quarterback draw on 3rd and 8. I mean, I understand Joe Germanario's had success, but you have Will Gladney and Andrew Vito on the field. I think you throw the ball there.
Brian Fallon, the punter for the Bombers. 37 yards per kick this season, 1 of 50-plus yards. Snap to Fallon, fields it cleanly, gets it off no problem. Not the best punt from Brian Fallon, a short one. Out past the 50-yard line, bounces off a Red Dragon player. Empty backfield for him now. He takes the snap. Ribs it right side to Jason Carlock. Carlock picks up about 7 yards before Anthony Robinson spins him out of bounds. Second down.
That's the correct play call. If you're Cortland that time, you have Anthony Robinson playing off coverage, playing soft coverage. You have all the Bombers dropping into a zone. Find the easy receiver, get your offense going.
7-yard pickup for Carlock. 2nd and 3. Ball right at midfield. On the left hash. Sigala takes a snap, gives it to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi picks up the first down before he's tripped up. Tackle made by Miles Haynes.
That time Sigala running the RPO. He had Jason Carlock waiting for the screen, the wide receiver screen on the right side. That time the right call, however, to give it off to Tripodi.
Tripodi checking with his own sideline for the play call. 3 receivers to the right side. Minute and a half gone in this second quarter. 7-0, the Bombers lead. The snap, the give to Zach Tripodi, left side. Tripodi chopping his feet, puts his head down. Tackle made by a couple different Bombers. Mikey Rumis hops off the pile. Second down.
Well, this is a Bombers defense that if they're going to do anything today, they're going to play hard. And that is exactly what we're seeing today. They are flowing to the ball really well. Nick Garone and Miles Haynes do a great job of plugging up the holes from the linebacking position. They are all over Tripodi today.
2nd and 6. Sigala takes a snap, sprints out to his right. Sigala looking for a target. Gonna throw that one away. Nick Garone hot on his tail. Garone got a hit on Sigala. Cole Burgess was the intended target.
Well, relentless pursuit from Nick Garone. They had about 3 different players try to block him, and he either shed the block or went right through each one of them. This is a captain in Nick Garone. His family has played in Cortaca before. He had an older brother that played for the Bombers. His father played for the Bombers in the mid-'80s. He wants to play hard. He does not want to go out with a loss this season.
3rd and 6 for the Red Dragons. Trips right, 1 receiver to the left-hand side. Sigala takes a snap with the handoff to Tripodi. No, it's a play action for Sigala. Sigala sprinting right again. He's got room for the first down. Out past the 35-yard line, out of bounds just shy of the 30. Cortland fans rising to their feet here at MetLife Stadium. First down, Red Dragons.
That time, Mikey Rumis, kind of that free safety cornerback hybrid that we've seen all season long. He is responsible for making the open field tackles. That time, he had to play the receiver. He had a choice between Sigala and the receiver. He made the right choice, but Sigala, great read to pick up the first down.
Brett Sigala picks up the first down with his legs. 1st and 10 from the Ithaca 33-yard line. 12 and a half to go in this first half. Motion for the Red Dragons offense. It's a handoff to Angelo Foster on the reverse. Foster scoots away from 1 tackle. Out past the 20-yard line. Out past the 30, tackles at the 25-yard line. Miles Haynes makes the stop on Foster. 9-yard pickup, 2nd and 1.
Well, that is a motion that Coach Turper talked to us a lot about in practice. It's called the orbital motion. You have a receiver that comes from either side. He goes behind the running back and then comes back to the other side of the quarterback. That time successful for Angelo Foster.
2nd and 2 for Cortland. Under 12 minutes to play. This is a handoff to Zach Tripodi, left side. Tripodi cuts back to the middle of the field. Miles Haynes finally brings him down, but not before he picks up the Cortland first down.
Well, the running lanes haven't been there for Tripodi, but the vision has been terrific, A couple times he's gone on the outside and has had the vision to cut it back inside. That time, the correct cut by Tripodi. He is making the most of his opportunities.
29 rush yards on the day for Zach Tripodi. 1st and 10. At the 17-yard line are the Red Dragons. Into the red zone. The snap to Sigala. Delayed handoff to Tripodi. Tripodi picking up speed out past the 10-yard line. That's where he's stopped by Ithaca. 8-yard rush for Tripodi. Nick Garone making the tackle. Tripodi picking up some momentum on this drive, Matthias.
From the center to the right side of the line, they are getting a great push, are these Red Dragons with Bailey, Lugbauer, and Alvarez. They are getting all the push and getting all the running holes for Tripodi. He is just running through an empty spot on the offensive line. This defense has to adjust.
11 minutes to play in this first half. 2nd down for the Red Dragons. Snap to Sigala. Another handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi behind his left tackle picks up the first down. About a 4-yard gain. It will be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for Cortland.
Well, Ithaca's offense is good in the red zone, but how about Cortland as well? 89%, scoring the ball, 69% on touchdown opportunities. This is a team that wants to run the ball, but is not afraid to throw it, and they have gotten things done in the red zone. This is a huge opportunity for both teams here.
First and goal for Cortland. One receiver on each side of the formation. Now 2 offensive linemen move. Haven't seen that one this season. First and goal for Cortland. High snap. And the officials are going to blow this play dead. Cortland took a time. No, excuse me. Ithaca took the timeout. 2 receivers to the right, none to the left. Tripodi, the tailback. Tommy Hewer in the game, gives it to Zach Tripodi. Tripoti's into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Dragons. Zach Tripodi bursts into the end zone for Cortland's first score of the game. It's 7-6 Bombers.
Well, there's a reason this coaching staff for Ithaca told us that they would like to run the ball every time if they had the opportunity. It's going to be more of a 50-50 split, but if you're this good at running the ball and Ithaca has been unable to adjust on the third drive, why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
9th rushing touchdown of the season for Zach Tripodi. Nick Mongelli on for the extra point to tie this game up. The snap, the hold, the kick is blocked. The Bombers get a hand on that extra point attempt. Miles Haynes has got the ball in the end zone trying to make something happen. Haynes dragged down by 2 different Cortland defenders. Nick Garone got his hand on that punt. His second blocked kick of the season, and maintains a 1-point lead for the Bombers.
Nick Garone, the only one on this team that has blocked a PAT, a field goal, a punt. What be it? The last one came against St. John Fisher when they scored on their first drive.
For what it's worth, Matthias, that handoff on the Zach Tripodi touchdown didn't come from Brett Segala. It came from Tommy Hewer, the backup quarterback, trying to find Brett Segala on the sidelines right now. Of course, that would be a big shift in the story of this game. We'll let you know when Cortland gets back out on the field. Right now, Mongelli getting set for the kickoff to the Bombers. You've seen 2 different kickoffs blow off the tee before the team could get it off. And Mongelli seems to be happy with the ball placement. He'll be kicking from left to right. A.J. Clifford and Billy Tedeschi, the 2 return men back for the Ithaca. And the ball blows off the tee again. Bit of a trend here. Mongelli strides up for the kickoff now thanks to a holder. Gets this one off to the 10-yard line where A.J. Clifford runs under it. Clifford has some trouble with the kick. Out to the 24-yard line goes A.J. Clifford before being brought down. That's where the Bombers will start this next drive.
Well, I'm not quite sure if actually having a holder would affect how the kick would come off of the kicker's foot, but it looked like A.J. Clifford was a little slow to get over to the ball to camp under it. This is an Ithaca team that has not had to face adversity too often this season. In the last 2 weeks when they haven't folded, but they have not really lived up to the billing. We'll see if they can come back strong today.
John Manganella made the stop on Clifford. First down for the Bombers. It's a direct snap to Joe Germinario. Takes it immediately off the left-hand side of the line. Germinario running through arm tackles. Picks up 5 yards before Greg Alfieri takes him to the ground. 2nd and 5.
Worth noting the 3 games that Germinario has played against Cortland. You look at his first 2 years, he had 188 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 95 yards and 3 touchdowns the year after. Then in 2018, only 25 yards, but over 300 through the air. So he has beaten this Cortland defense in multiple ways. I guess the game plan today is going to be to run the ball often with him.
Ball on the left hash for the Bombers. 2nd and 5. Under 10 minutes to play on this first half of action. Ithaca up 7-6 over their rival Cortland. 61st annual Cortaca Jug from MetLife Stadium. Germinario fires it right side to Andrew Vito. Vito up the sideline, skips past the first down line. The officials are going to say he stepped out of bounds about a yard before he got the first down. 3rd and short for Ithaca.
Andrew Vito very involved in the pass game, now leading the team 3 receptions. That gets him over 20 yards. Again, this is Andrew Vito, who's having easily his best season of his career. Next year, we're going to see him as the #1 receiving target once Will Gladney graduates.
3rd and short, not even a full yard needed for Ithaca. Germinario runs up under center. He's going to sneak it himself, got pushed back initially, but able to fall past the first down line. Cortland's defensive line got pressure initially, but Germinario able to spin away from that tackle attempt, pick up the first down.
Studer and Imperiale, the 2 linebackers coming up to apply pressure right up the middle because they knew Germinario was going that way, and then he changed directions and went off the right side.
Clock ticks under 9 minutes to play in the first half. New set of downs for Ithaca. trips left, one receiver to the right-hand side. A bit of a broken play. German is just going to heave it down the right sideline towards the Ithaca Bombers. Not quite sure what happened there.
I think that was a trick play attempt, Ben. I think what they were trying to do is, I've seen this before this season, this was the second time they tried to run it, is that German will take the snap and no one else will move, kind of assuming that the defense won't move either, and then you have Will Gladney streaking on the side. If you think back to the Scotty Whitelaw Bowl game last season, they ran the same thing with Gladney and he got the touchdown.
Good memory.
Cortland all over that one though.
Incomplete pass, second down for German Rifles it to Andrew Vito at the 43-yard line, takes a huge hit right there from a Cortland defender.
3rd and 4 from the 42.
3rd and 4 now. It was Stone Murray making the tackle on Vito. Vito not afraid to go over the middle and take big hits. Ball at the 42-yard line. 8 minutes to play in the first half. Ithaca up 7-6. Dante Garcia, the running back on this 3rd down. He's to German left. Austin Hedgeland checks into the game at tight end. Snap to German looking right. Pump fake. Hits Jacob Cooney. Cooney out past the first down line, across the 50-yard line. First down Bombers. They're into Cortland territory. Dylan Studer tasked with covering Jacob Cooney there, made the tackle, but not before Cooney could move the chains.
Those are the mismatches you're going to have. Studer, the linebacker on Jacob Cooney, not the fastest receiver, but he has that 6'3" height, and his hands have looked a lot better the last couple of weeks. He had some struggles catching the ball earlier in the season, but Jacob Cooney has been a really good 4th target for these Bombers.
A season ago, Cooney was 2nd in the Liberty League with a 17.3 yards per catch number. Into Cortland territory is Ithaca, 1st and 10. Snap to German It's a quarterback draw. German burst off the right side of the line, picks up 6 yards before he's escorted out of bounds. German stays on his feet out of bounds, jogs back into the huddle, 2nd down. Bombers and the Red Dragons making some substitutions before the 2nd and 4. 7-6, Ithaca leads. It's the 61st annual Cortaca Jug from MetLife Stadium, broadcasted exclusively on ictv.org, WICB, and the Bombers Radio Network. For even more coverage of the 61st annual Cortaca Jug, head on over to @BomberRadioNet on Twitter for live social media updates. Snap to Joe Germanario. Hits Andrew Vito out past the 40-yard line. Cut down. 1st down Bombers. Joshua Cordero chopping him down. 8-play drive for the Bombers right now.
Cortland bringing the pressure on the right side with Devin Smith and J.J. Pasqualoni on a couple of stunts, and the right side of the offensive line has really answered the billing. Great protection for Germanario this game.
1st down for the Bombers. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Will Gladney in the slot on the left side. It's Andrew Vito on the outside on that same side of the formation. Germanario takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Ducks past the first defender before running into a wall of Cortland defenders. Just about the entire Cortland defensive line led by Paul Imperiale, but he's certainly had some help from his teammates there.
And Joe Germanario's seen a lot more success running the ball off the right or left side than he has right up the middle. This Cortland defense has really responded. We talk about the big boys they have up the middle with J.J. Pasqualoni, Vincenzo Paglioli, and Devin Smith.
No gain for Germanario on the quarterback keeper. 2nd and 10, under 6 minutes to play in the half. Bombers up 7-6.
Bombers doing a great job of milking the clock here. 5-minute advantage for time of possession. Not usually something we're used to seeing for Ithaca.
No one in the backfield with Germanario. 2nd down snap, he's got it. Dropping back. Clean pocket to work with over the middle to Andrew Vito. Vito stiff arms away from one tackle before he picks up the 1st down. Evans Rivera making the stop eventually. 1st down Bombers.
But it's Imperiale was the one that was in coverage on Vito. Again, the mismatch, the linebacker on the very speedy Vito, and he has that advantage every time.
Inside the Cortland 25-yard line now. 2 receivers to the left for Germanario, 1 to the right. Gladney alone on that right side of the formation. Joe looks back to the offensive sideline. Coach Dan Swanstrom, the offensive play caller for Ithaca. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Now Germanario's got the snap. It's a handoff to Dante Garcia. Garcia spinning away from the first tackle, cutting past another tackle, pushing the pile. Vincenzo Pagliaroli tried to make the tackle on Dante Garcia, but the shifty sophomore back able to not just make a man miss, but then push the pile after the fact, 7 yards.
Pagliaroli weighs 245 pounds and Dante Garcia weighs 185. You have to understand the determination that has to be in the running back's eyes to keep that pile moving. This is something we see, especially with Kendall Anderson, who now is checking back in the game. These running backs can really keep the pile moving.
2 receivers on each side for the Bombers. Like Matthias said, Kendall Anderson getting into the game, the senior from Cleveland. 4 minutes and change here in the first half from MetLife Stadium. Germanario clapping his hands for the snap. He's got it. Hits Andrew Vito on the flat on the left side. Vito to the 10. Vito tackled out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Dylan Dubuque making the stop. Not before he picks up another Ithaca first down. That's the 3rd first down Vito's picked up this drive.
Well, Andrew Vito's going to get all the credit for the catch, but give some credit to Jacob Cooney, the lead blocker out there, and really sprung that first block that allowed Vito to get the first down.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Germanario tries the hard count. No one bites. 17 on the play clock. Got time to work with.
Maybe we see a run here for the Bombers.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Germanario's got the snap. It's a quarterback keeper for Joe Germanario, cutting inside the 5-yard line. Taken down by Vincenzo Pagliaroli. About a 4-yard pickup. The officials are going to spot this one right at the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal, 3:20 to play.
Well, he's going to need an ice bath after this game. He is running through the teeth of the defense, and he has no regrets. I mean, this is a physical runner. He is quite a competitor, maybe the most competitive player on this team. He is yelling, and he's always the last one to leave practice, and he is getting his money's worth today.
2nd and goal, 3 minutes to play in the half. Germanario clapping his hands for the snap. Tries the hard count again. Ithaca and Cortland fans alike getting on their feet for this 2nd and goal. Now Germanario is going to call the timeout. He does just get it off. The play clock was running down to 2 to 1, nearly to 0. But Germanario able to call the timeout. Good awareness shown by the senior quarterback.
You're in the red zone. You're up 7-6. Another score here would be big.
7-6. Ithaca leads Cortland in this 61st Cortaca Jug game. We're coming to you live from MetLife Stadium. 2nd and goal for the Bombers. Germanario's got Dante Garcia to his left, Will Gladdy on the same side, 2 receivers to the right, along with Austin Hedgeland. Ball on the 4-yard line, right between the 2 hashes. Germanario takes a snap. Quarterback keeper, Germanario, right to the goal line, stretches for it. He stops right at the inch line. Could not be any closer than that. The official ran in from the far side with his foot right on the goal line. Of course, Joe Germanario, 1 rushing touchdown already today on a quarterback sneak. Ithaca loves to sneak it in this situation, right on the goal line. 3rd and goal, 2:20 to play in the first half.
And interesting that we see Dante Garcia and not Isaiah DeHady. He is the goal line back for this team. We haven't seen him in a little bit. It's been all Dante Garcia on this drive. I would expect to see a Joe Germanario a rush up the middle. Now we see Cortland getting more into it. This is a huge 3rd and 1. Germanario had to go all the way back to the Ithaca sideline for the call.
Listen to this crowd. Germanario under center. Gets pushed back initially, reaches for the pylon. Touchdown Bombers. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Joe Germanario. And Ithaca goes up 13-6 from MetLife Stadium.
Death by little cuts. I mean, Joe Germanario, these 1-yard rushes, these 2-yard rushes, 4-yard rushes, everything is working. The Bombers are staying ahead of the chains. They are not taking negative plays, which has been huge because that allows them to stay in their game plan and they don't have to throw it out like we heard against RPI. The Bombers are in the driving seat right now in terms of time of possession. They're just controlling this game the way they want to.
Nick Bob Monday, the extra point is up and straight through the upper. No, excuse me. That kick sailed to the right. A pair of missed extra points, 1 for each team. The Bombers up by 7, 13-6, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half of the 61st Cortaca Jug. We've got 1:55 to play here from MetLife Stadium. Bombers up over the Cortland Red Dragons, 13-6. But Monday on for the kickoff, kicking from right to left. 2 return men for the Red Dragons, Angelo Foster and Cole Burgess. But Monday kicks a low line drive, bounces into the arms of Angelo Foster at the 10. They're going to give it to Cole Burgess on the reverse. Burgess hurdles over one defender before going down. Hurdled over an Ithaca defender on the kick coverage team. It was Dylan Preston. He'll get credit for the tackle. Aldo Kazmarkowicz also in the area. A minute 50 for this Cortland offense, starting from the Ithaca, or from their own 32-yard line, moving from left to right at MetLife Stadium.
Keep in mind that Cortland gets the ball at the start of the second half, as Brett Segala does come back on the field. A score here would be huge because then they have an opportunity to score at the start of the second half, trailing by 7.
Snap to Segala, looking left side. Hits Cole Burgess in and out of his hands. Anthony Robinson in coverage. That's just a drop from Burgess.
Anthony Robinson could not have played him any better. And if you look at Brett Segala's numbers, 1 of 5 on the day, just 7 passing yards, This is what happens when you run the ball so much and you can't throw the balls, that you can't push it down the field, and especially with a minute 45 to go. Not a lot of time for this Cortland offense. They need to figure out their passing game.
2nd and 10, a minute 45 to go. Segala's got the snap, looking left this time. It's to Angelo Foster. Foster trying to make guys miss. 4 different bombers converging around Angelo Foster. Michael Rumis led the way, but Miles Haynes and Anthony Robinson also got involved.
Timeout. Cortland, it's their first time out of the half.
They didn't pick up the first down. There's going to be a 3rd and 5 coming for Cortland.
Hello, everyone. This is Jake Asman, class of 2017, and currently a national radio host on Sports Map Radio. Excited to bring you this call of the Cortaca Jug. Ithaca up 13-6, minute 35 to go before the half. Segala for Cortland drops back, completes it over the middle to Derek Cruz for 8 yards. They got to go quick here. 3rd and 5 now at the Cortland 37-yard line. Segala starting to heat up here. He'll take the snap from the shotgun. Drop back, has time. Throws to his right along the sideline, and it's complete to Cole Burgess, but Burgess lost the football. Kyrie Brown ripped it out of Burgess's hands and returns it down the sideline all the way down to the Cortland 46-yard line. Wow, what a play by Brown. He ripped it out of the hands of Burgess and streaked up the field 24 yards. The Ithaca sideline's going crazy. Heck of a play there by the Bombers, and they'll have a chance here, still with a minute 15 to go before the half, to increase their 13-6 lead here in the Cortaca Jug.
Out comes the Ithaca offense.
Well, the reason these coaches are so upset is because they thought the officials would rule the ball dead, and Segala is heated on the sidelines. They're going to call this one a fumble recovery by Kyrie Brown, but Brett Segala thought the play should have been called dead, and I have to say I agree with him.
You can hear the boos from the Cortland fans here. They're not happy with it either. Empty backfield for Joe Germinario. Ithaca working on stolen time here, thanks to the Kyrie Brown strip and return. They've got the ball at the Cortland 46-yard line. Snap to Germinario. Drops back, quarterback draw. Straight up Broadway, middle of the field. Germinario running over defenders. Ran straight through D'Angelo Walker. He picks up the first down. A minute 8 to play. Ithaca's got 1 timeout to work with.
Just 33 yards to go, so they can kind of take their time.
Germinario's got the snap. Hits Andrew Vito on the left flat. Vito running behind Will Gladney. 8-yard pickup for Vito. Tackle made by Joshua Cordero. 2nd and 2. Under 60 seconds to play. Clock running.
We've seen that play about 5 times today, and if it's working, why not keep throwing it, right?
2 receivers to each side for Germinario. Clapping his hands for the snap. He's got it. Quarterback draw again. Germinario runs into a wall this time. Paul Imperiale making the tackle on Joe Germinario. No, a flag is going to come out.
I'm not sure if that's going to be on Cortland or Ithaca. Dan Swanstrom telling everyone to go back to the sidelines. It was Imperiale who was late to get off of Germinario, and then I think an offensive lineman for Ithaca kind of pushed him off. I think it actually might have been
Dubuque.
It was Dubuque.
Personal foul, defense, number 36.
Good call, Ben.
After distance penalty, out of half, first down.
Dylan Dubuque did not get off of Joe Germinario, and I think the issue here, Matthias, was that Imperiale made the stop on Joe Germinario. Germinario went to the ground, and then Dubuque hopped on top of him. That's going to draw a foul every time. And if we can jump back to the Cole Burgess play real quick, my best guess as to what the explanation to the Cortland coaches would be is that Cole Burgess was still fighting for forward progress. He wasn't going down. He wasn't giving himself up. Therefore, it's a live ball. Kyrie Brown can do what he did.
Yeah, and I mean, that would be the correct call, but at the time, it looked like Cole Burgess was moving backwards.
First and 10 from the 12-yard line. Germanaro's got the snap. It's a handoff to Dante Garcia. Garcia showing good patience, gets to the 10-yard line.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Karski, the host of Between the Lines on ESPN Ithaca College class of 2011.
And I'm Dan Daugherty, play-by-play voice for ESPN Ithaca class of 2017.
Hey Dan, how lucky are we that we get to call some of the action from the 2019 Cortaca Jug football game from MetLife Stadium?
So cool. I mean, as cool as it is for us, it was so amazing for these athletes to get to perform on an NFL stadium. I mean, it's unbelievable.
All right, Dan, big-time situation here late in the second quarter. 13-6 Bombers lead. You've got the call. Let's hear it.
Yeah, you set it up. 13-6 is the score. Bombers in the lead. 21 seconds left in the first half. 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line. Joe Germanario from the shotgun gets his signal from the sideline. And now moves his running back to his left now. 2 wide receivers up top, 1 to his left. Gets a snap, looking towards the end zone. Flushed out by the defenders. Now he's looking to his right.
It's outside the hashes, all the way back to the 20-yard line, now down to the 10, now to the 5, touchdown Bombers! Ithaca gets on the board. Joe Germanario's 3rd rushing score of the game. The Bombers take a 19-6 lead here at MetLife Stadium with 9 ticks to go here in the first half.
I'm looking for the flag, I don't see it.
It was in the end zone. I don't think it's going to be on the play itself. I think it would either be on the PAT or on the kickoff. The touchdown, will stand. My goodness, what a run by Joe Germanario. There are some things you can teach in football, and then there are some things that are just instinct, and that was instinct by Joe Germanario. He changed directions 4 or 5 times, going left, right. Finally, the opening.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the scoring team, number 25, 15-yard penalty. We'll try.
That's on Dante Garcia. And I don't know if I've ever heard an unnecessary roughness penalty on the offensive team.
That's probably more of an unsportsmanlike conduct, but it is something to note because if he picks up a second one, he will be disqualified.
The kick will move Bamonde back. It'll be about a 37-yard extra point attempt. Bamonde 1 of 2 this afternoon. The snap, the hold, the kick, and this one's blocked by Cortland. The Red Dragons got a hand on that extra point. That will keep the score 19-6. 9 seconds to go before the half.
What a bizarre first half, Ben. 19-6. I don't know if you guys keep up with scoregami for the NFL games that they do, but this has a chance to be one for Division III football. You talk about this Cortland offense really struggling to move the ball down the field besides that one drive where they ran it well with Tripodi, and even then just 4.2 yards per carry. For Joe Germanario, 3 touchdowns, like I mentioned earlier, in 2017 against Cortland. A game high for him this season was 15 coming into this one against RPI last week. How about 18 rushes already, and we're not even out of the first half. I mean, I did not expect to see them run the ball this much, especially with Joe Germanario, maybe 6 or 7 times throughout the whole game. They brought him in to make plays with his arms, but he is more than capable of making them on the ground. 30 rushing touchdowns in 3 seasons at Brockport.
Well, Matthias, what you pointed out to me last night when we were preparing and going over some of our boards is that it hasn't been Germanario's arm that's hurt Cortland in the past. Of course, Joe Germanario coming from SUNY Brockport, a member of the Empire 8 just like Cortland, but it's been Germanario's legs that have been the real Achilles heel, pardon the pun, for this Cortland defense.
Absolutely, and you talk about the pass defense for the Bombers, they have really showed up.
Short kick from Nick Bamonde to the 40-yard line, hauled in by a Red Dragon, Jason Carlock. He falls down at the 40, and the Red Dragons will have 7 seconds to work with at the very end of this first half. Well, coming into the game at quarterback for the Red Dragons right now is Tommy Hewer. Segala was on the field for the last drive. Segala today 4 of 8 for just 45 yards. But as it stands, it's Tommy Hewer taking the snap at the end of this first half. Hewer's got it, dropping back to pass. Pocket collapsing around him. He's going to heave one down to the left side. Snagged by Jason Carlock. Carlock at the 30-yard line, bottled up by Bombers. And that will wind the clock on this first half. It would have been interesting if Carlock could have gotten down. Will Gladney was actually on the field for that last defensive snap. We've seen that a couple times this season. But that is the end of the first half from MetLife Stadium. In the 61st annual Cortaca Jug game, Ithaca College leads Cortland State 19-6, thanks to Joe Germanario and his 3 rushing touchdowns in his first ever Jug game.
Hi, Coach. I'm Quentin. We've met before, obviously, and work with WICB. Severin, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, Justin, Coach, it's great to be here with you guys. I'm Severin Lavenstein, a senior sports media major here at Ithaca College. I was actually the WICB sports director for the 61st Cortaca Jug. And yeah, always happy to have a chance to discuss some about that fantastic experience, even if it is in virtual form.
Yeah, of course. Tremendous.
All right, I'll just get it started here. What a moment that game was for the program. From the time it was announced to the anticipation leading up to the game, and then, of course, finally suiting up for game day. As you were running out of the tunnel with the team for the first time, a lot of things had to be running through your mind. What were your thoughts and emotions as you were taking the field at MetLife Stadium?
Yeah, I think once we got to that point, it was there's so much focus on what you got to do that that's pretty easy for me to block out the surroundings. I think the Friday walkthrough was very important, not just for myself, but for the team, and kind of got that tempo or maybe the extra butterflies or the size of the stage. I think that really helped. And not only did we just do a walkthrough, we let the guys stay on the field a little bit longer. We threw the ball around a little bit longer and enjoyed that experience. So, the truth is, once we got to that point, besides getting a bunch of steam blown in your face, like the game itself, we really focused on the task at hand that was right in front of us. So I know you'd like there to be a different answer, but there's really not. Like, we had a job to do. I had to stay on task, and I was able to do that, and our team was able to do that.
Coach, even just to the extent of what you saw with the walkthrough, and then even if you had a few moments just to glance up, how would you describe that atmosphere of MetLife, factoring in the magnitude of the moment, being at the stadium and playing in front of all those fans, especially that being a big difference? What was that like?
It was awesome. The thing we got to also understand, though, is every time we play our rivalry game, it's a big deal, and it's a big experience, and it's got a lot of energy and a lot of there's a lot that goes into that week that can kind of knock you off your normal schedule. I got to do press conferences I'm not normally doing, and that's true for every time we play the game. The press is a lot bigger. There's a lot more access to me during that week than I normally have. So, those are things we were able to manage with the first 2 years that I was the head coach here. So getting the pattern of the Cortland game was really, really similar until we physically got to New York City. So the week was good. Obviously, the hotel close to New York City, and then the walkthrough in MetLife. But yeah, like I said, I do think kind of if you're looking for kind of a different answer, the two moments I think that were kind of like where I let myself wander for maybe 5 to 7 seconds was when the bus entered the stadium, and you're going through the tailgate, and it just looks like a massive NFL football game. And then I was able to get out with my friends and family after the game, after the press conference. It took a long time for me to eventually get out there, but I got to go see everybody after the game. The parking lot was kind of cleared out. I got to spend an hour with them before our players ate and got to shower. And that time, those were the two times where I really let myself wander into the moment, and those were pretty special.
Coach, I would imagine most of those players have never played in front of an audience that big. Take me in the locker room. What did you tell your team before you headed out of the tunnel? And how do you think your players responded in one of the biggest games in the program's history?
Yeah, so the way I see it is we got a lot of players who've played in big games. We got a bunch of guys who played at Bergen Catholic, and when you play Don Bosco Prep on a Friday night, that's going to feel a certain way. Or we got players from Archbishop Wood, and when they play St. Joe's Prep out in Philadelphia, that's going to be a big deal. Or, players from CNS and Syracuse playing Aquinas in the semifinals. So, I think a lot of our players have been in big games, and when you're, and it's personal, right? So if you've been in that experience before and it's a big thing to you and you've been through that experience before, it probably helps you manage the atmosphere a little bit better. So, I kind of saw that with some of our players and I thought we did a really good job of staying on task and being able to compete and not let the outside influences change what we were supposed to do on each given play. I mean, there's certainly some ups and downs. I think we were able to start the game fast, which was really important. But I think the guys handled it really well.
So looking back, especially now experiencing a season without football, the two-parter for you here, how do you think you will personally remember that experience with this hindsight? And how do you think it'll be remembered by the program as a whole?
I mean, I think for me personally, I think the toughness of our team to come back and play well in that game was huge. We were a tired, banged up football team that didn't have a lot of depth. We didn't have a lot of different answers. So, these guys were a lot of guys who were taped together and patched together late in the season, coming together and playing their hearts out. So I think that's the big thing because I really wasn't sure where we're at as a football team that week of practice. And I could go through the laundry list of physically where we were at. But, I didn't feel great about that. And for us to come back and be tough and be physical and to run and hit, I think hopefully it's kind of a culture-setting moment for us about what the Bombers are and what we can be and what we have been in the past and what we can continue to be. But I think that's kind of my big takeaway was just the pure toughness of the guys in that game. What was the second part?
Just how you think it might be remembered by the program as a whole, especially with it being such a big game, but also now with the hindsight of no football for this season.
Yeah, I'm always moving forward, so I'm trying to keep moving forward. Obviously, the situation with that we're in right now makes it hard. As much as I wish we were playing, I do think I think our guys will remember it forever. I'll certainly remember the game forever, but I remember most games forever, so. But I do think it'll be remembered as Ithaca College thinking big, putting out a massive plan, alumni administration coming together and executing on something that nobody else has ever done, and being the biggest day in Ithaca College history. And it just happened to be that we were playing a little football game too. And I think it'll just be remembered as the biggest collection of Ithaca alumni ever together.
So let's take a look at a few plays now. One that really just stands out to me was late in the first half, Kyrie Brown forcing the fumble, stripping the receiver, recovering it, going down the sideline, eventually set up a touchdown heading into halftime. Can you talk about his effort on that play to force the takeaway and the momentum that it created for your team heading into the half?
Yeah, I mean, just an outstanding play. I mean, Cole Burgess is an excellent receiver for Cortland. He it was a well-thrown ball, really the only spot where in that type of coverage where we, the ball could be thrown. So he gets it up over Kyrie, and he's got to go extend, and he goes up and catches it. But, Kyrie just refuses to quit on the play and continues to battle. And honestly, there's a lot of guys, a lot of DBs, they see that, that ball hit the hands and that little fleeting second where you're just like, oh man, I just kind of, they just made a big play. There wasn't that for him. It was get the guy on the ground. As he came ripping up through him, he got both hands on the football, and now, and was able to leverage the ball from him, and not only leverage the ball from him, to get another 25, 27 yards on the return, whatever it was huge because of where the clock was. Because now it put us in a much better situation to run our offense instead of being in a true 2-minute offense where we got to throw the ball every down. We're able to run a much more balanced attack and then score and execute that final drive. So, as much as the effort to never give up on that play, but also rattling off that extra yardage was just massive. And then our offense play off of it, yeah.
So I just want to talk a little bit more about Kyrie Brown. He came to the program 4 years ago, didn't get much playing time as a freshman, but last year he was anchoring one of the best defenses in Division III. What kind of impact has a player like Kyrie Brown had on the football program?
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie's been playing special teams since he was a freshman, so he's been out there and he's made big plays early in his career. So we saw those glimpses. So the thing with Kyrie is, you look at our first year that I got here, you got Jordan Shim and you got Aaron Francis. So, and you got Javante Long as your third corner, and you got RJ, as your fourth corner. So it's like, okay, there's really, that's going to be a tough deal. And then Jordan's the only one who graduates. So now you got Francis, you got Javante Long, you got RJ, and then you got Kyrie, as the corners there. But once again, that's just a tough lineup to crack. So even though he was playing good football, the opportunities weren't there for him. So, but like Peanut, like Javante, he had to sit, he had to wait. He played special teams, made plays when he got his opportunity. He made plays, and that's the thing with Kyrie. He got out on the field and he had the interception to seal the St. John Fisher game, as they had a 2-minute drive that sealed that game. And then very much like the Fisher game the year before, Javante Long had the interception. So the similarities are really, really almost spooky when you kind of look at it. And then, but that's kind of what we want the program to be. We want you really shouldn't be that ready to play as a freshman or a sophomore. And the program should be healthy enough to be, when junior year is really where you should really start making big impacts in your program. And he followed those steps exactly and learned from great senior leadership before him. And when it was his time, he was ready.
Coach, next up, I want to shift to the offensive side of the ball and look at Andrew Vito's touchdown in the fourth quarter. It gave you a 12-point lead, 3 minutes to go. I specifically want to talk about the play. What made this play, misdirection and all, the right one to call at that time?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact amount of time in the game, but Cortland was using their timeouts. It's a 3rd and 6, plus 44, plus 46 going in. I just felt if we were going to make a mistake, let's make a mistake down the field. I also felt, we ran the ball on 1st and 2nd down, got 4 yards. So, I felt like we needed to throw the ball, but I just didn't, Cortland's an odd front defense. They were using a lot of drop 8 against us. So if you're playing 3 down and you're dropping 8, a bunch of those guys end up underneath on the defense. And that's where a tip ball, they're playing zone coverage. So 8 guys are looking at the football, a tip ball, something crazy, us throwing the ball down. My thing was, maybe if they pick it or whatever, at least make it way down on the other side of the field. So that was really my thought process. Like, we need to throw the ball to go win the game. There's 8 people underneath. If we're going to make a mistake, let's make it down the field.
Now, to talk about, we just talked about Kyrie Brown, who was so impactful for the organization, but I also want to talk about Vito, who has clearly been such a huge player for you guys. Did you say anything to Andrew after he scored, or to the team?
No, there's too much going on. The game's a long way from being done. Cortland's very explosive on offense, and the receivers, the tailback's fantastic. They're good up front. The quarterback, if he gets hot, and you just watch out. So we knew 2 touchdowns was still a long way to go. So we were very focused on, first off, we need to go for 2 to make it a 14-point game. They're also, I don't know if you got the numbers, but they're one of the best kickoff return teams I've ever seen over the past 3 years. So that touchdown could be erased in 10 seconds, and all of a sudden you're in a world that you didn't want to be in because we lost focus, because we got excited over one play. That's not how the program's built. That's not how we do things around here. So, we did our job. We accomplished our goal in that play, and we executed it very, very well. But but we had a 2-point play, and we had a kickoff to go cover and play some defense to go win this game.
And Coach, just wrapping up here, after you won the game, what was that feeling like, beating Cortland in MetLife Stadium in front of 45,000 fans? That must have been a great feeling.
Yeah, more relief than anything. You know, like I said, where we were at going into the game, there was a lot of uncertainty about where we were at. And I did say, I mean, I just remember the first play on defense just being like, all right, there was just it just felt normal again. You know, it just felt the speed was there, the physicality was there, and I was like, all right, so that felt good. But it was just relief for the guys. That 2.5 week stretch was very trying for the team, and for them to bounce back the way they did. I was just happy for them. I was happy for the way they played. I was happy for their families. I was happy the way they executed, and the relief that they had that performance under their belt.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Coach Swanstrom. Glad to just finally talk some football again. We really appreciate it. Stay safe. We hope to see you and the team out there again real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's super fun to actually talk some football. That's great.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
And the winner of our Dell laptop, brought to you by our proud sponsor, Dell Technologies, is Emily Johnson, class of 2024. Congratulations, Emily. Enjoy your new laptop, courtesy of Dell.
Hello, Bombers. Last year, the football game wasn't the only competition with Cortland. The Red Dragons challenged our Bombers to the first ever Cortaca Jug Giving Challenge to see whose community had more philanthropic pride.
Over 1,000 Bombers made the gift to Ithaca College, beating Cortland and raising more than $95,000 in support of the IC students and programs. This spring, Ithaca College will be asking our IC community to step up to the challenge again and show their Bomber pride by participating in its 24-hour day of giving.
This fun and exciting Giving Day will challenge our alumni, faculty, friends, parents, and students to support the areas of IC they love most.
We hope that you'll join us in making this day a major success. Mark your calendars for March 18th, 2021.
Be on the lookout for more ways to get involved.
Back to MetLife Stadium, host for the 61st annual Cortaca Jug, NFL regular season home of the New York Giants and New York Jets. 19-6 your score as we start the third quarter. Ithaca College on the winning side of that one. I'm Ben Carlton. To my right is Matthias Weilman, John Vicari, down on the sidelines in a breezy MetLife Stadium. Though a literally cloudless sky, Matthias, it could not be a more perfect day.
Absolutely, and it couldn't be a more perfect start for the Bombers, Talk about dominating time of possession, 21 minutes for the Bombers, 8 minutes for Cortland.
First offensive snap for the Red Dragons in the second half. From their own 25-yard lines, a handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi met at the line of scrimmage by Anthony Robinson and Nick Garone. No gain, second down.
Nick Garone, one of the leading tacklers for the day today, consistent with what he's done this season, the leading tackler for the Bombers. If you talk about what the Bombers did in the first half, well, it was just about everything. Their pass defense showed up after struggling a bit the past couple of weeks, and their offense went back to doing what they normally do.
They gave Tripodi 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Then we got a flag on the play after the snap. Officials talking. It's going to be
false start. Offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's on the center, Michael Bailey, the junior from Bedford Hills, New York. Backs up Cortland for an additional 5 yards, 2nd and 13. 30 seconds gone in this third quarter from MetLife Stadium. Snap to Segala, back in the game at quarterback, pump fake. Fires it over the middle of the field to Angelo Foster, in and out of his hands. Pass broken up by Kyrie Brown. Brown, of course, had the remarkable strip of Cole Burgess down the right sideline in that first half, which set Ithaca up for their third touchdown of the half.
That is such a difficult play to make if you're Kyrie Brown, because he was behind Cole Burgess. Cole Burgess had him beat. Kyrie Brown has to come back and slap the ball away without hitting too much of Burgess to get the flag thrown. Kyrie Brown, textbook pass breakup that time.
3rd and long for the Red Dragons. 13 yards to gain for a first down from their own 22-yard line. Segala's got the snap, climbs the pocket. Rolling out to his right, sidearms one. Pass tipped and broken up. Incomplete.
And incomplete.
Miles Haynes got a hand on that ball, the sophomore linebacker. 4th down, the Red Dragons will punt.
Well, we usually see Nick Garone be more of the cover linebacker. That time it was Miles Haynes in the position, and he did a good job of following Brent Segala's eyes. He charged up a little bit on him to make sure Segala had to throw the ball, and then once he threw it, great job of tracking the ball.
High snap to Liam Casey, able to sky and get that punt off. Actually a great punt to Mikey Anderson, fields in his own 37-yard line. Anderson breaks a tackle, out past the 45-yard line, sandwiched between two Cortland defenders over their rival from just 20 miles apart in upstate New York. First snap, handoff to Kendall Anderson. Anderson met in the backfield by the Red Dragons. No gain, right back to the line of scrimmage. It was Vincenzo Pagliaroli getting a big hand on Anderson.
Well, for Anderson and DeHady, both of the backs, they have to be aware that Cortland's going to be ripping at that ball down by a couple of scores. They're going to try to get the ball back on offense, so you need to make sure you're holding on to the ball if you're these Ithaca backs.
Trips right for Ithaca, 2nd and 10. Kendall Anderson, the running back, he's on Germanario's left-hand side. Snap to Germanario. Quick pass in the flat to Andrew Vito, who drops it. Pass hit Vito in the hands, unable to corral it.
Incomplete.
Dylan Studer was involved in the coverage there. 3rd down.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see what this coverage is that Cortland is coming out with. Is D'Angelo Walker, the backup cornerback, coming back in? It's kind of, they wave their hands in the air like they're helicopters. I don't know a better way to describe that with their index fingers. I think it's their nickel package that Cortland is coming out with. Of course, a 3rd and long for the Bombers coming.
3rd and 10 from their own 46-yard line. About 2 minutes gone in this 3rd quarter. Snap to Germanario, drops back. Got Mikey Anderson on the cross right onto the middle of the field. Anderson out to the 45-yard line. Falls forward, they give him the first down.
With a reception.
Mikey Anderson able to stay on his feet just long enough to get the first down. Evans Rivera made the tackle, but not before the Bombers' first down.
Anderson had the catch, but it was Jacob Cooney once again over the middle that had the block that allowed Anderson to spring forward for a first down. These wide receivers, especially for the Bombers in the short passing game, have done a great job of blocking.
1st and 10 in Cortland territory. Trips left for IC. Will Gladney alone on the right side of the offensive formation. Dante Garcia in the game on this 1st and 10. Germanario looking back to the sideline, now ready again. He takes the snap. Handoff to Dante Garcia. Garcia stiff arms through one defender.
Garcia, the ball carrier.
Taken down by Vincenzo Pagliaroli. 7-yard pickup, 2nd down. Dylan Dubuque helping out as well.
It is interesting. I guess Coach Swatcham saw something that he liked Dante Garcia this week in practice, because he is the 3rd down back for the Bombers, and he's good in that regard, but he is 4th in the team in carries from running backs. A.J. Clifford getting more touches than him, 15 rushes only coming into this game, and Dante Garcia has dominated the time in the backfield from a running back since the start of the 2nd quarter.
6 yards for Garcia. 2nd and 4 on the Cortland 37-yard line. We tick past 12 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Ithaca up 19-6. Snap to Germanario, empty backfield. Quarterback draw again, straight over the middle of the field. Gets taken down by his legs by Stone Murray, the free safety stepping up to make the tackle. Germanario able to get the first down though, bit of a generous spot.
And that is a Bombers.
I think the offense is so dangerous for the Bombers because you have 5 receivers spread out. Any one of them can break open for a touchdown, and then Germanario, the rushing ability, of course, is just really has this Cortland defense in a bind.
1st and 10 for Ithaca. Kendall Anderson checks into the game at running back. He's on the left side of the formation along with Andrew Vito, Mikey Anderson, and Jacob Cooney. As it usually is, Will Gladney alone on the right side of the formation, although Anderson now flips to that side. Snap to Germanario. Rifles it to Andrew Vito on the left side in the flat. Vito out past the 25-yard line, taken down out of bounds by number 31, Evans Rivera.
And I could have told you that play was coming. 3 receivers lined up to the left. Andrew Vito all game long has gone on the swing screen, bubble screen, whichever word you want to use. Easy catch and run, from Andrew Vito. Joe Germanario is putting those screen passes exactly where they want to be, allowing Andrew Vito to start running before he can make the catch and get ahead of steam. Andrew Vito so shifty, so good at changing directions too. He is dangerous in the open field.
Vito 8 grabs today for 58 yards. That one went for 8. 2nd and 2 from the Cortland 24. Ball spotted on the left hash. Empty set for Germanario. Drops back, looking right pass, knocked down at the line by Devin Smith. Smith all over that pass attempt. Brings up 3rd down.
Great job by Smith to know where the ball was going. That was going for Andrew Vito on a 3-yard in. Devin Smith all over that one. Now the Bombers a big 3rd and 2. They're 6 of 8 in this game. You talk about their national rankings coming in all throughout their offense. Maybe the most impressive one, 8th on 3rd down conversions, and that has gone down in the past 2 weeks.
3rd and 2 for the Bombers. 10.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Anderson stays in the game. Austin Hedgeland checks in as a tight end. He's on the right side of the offensive line. Andrew Vito in motion. Snap and a handoff to Kendall Anderson. Anderson bottled up initially, pushing the pile further. It's going to be a real close spot. The far side official walking in right at that 22, 23-yard line where the first down line is. No indication. 4th and short.
I think you go for this if you're the Bombers.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Cortaca, one and all. First Coast News sports anchor and reporter Mia O'Brien here, and of course, Ithaca College class of 2015. I was honored to be at the 61st annual Cortaca Jug last year. Shout out to my bosses for letting my layover to the Jaguars-Colts game in Indianapolis be at MetLife Stadium. Nothing like 2 NFL stadiums 2 days, right? Germanario in the shotgun. Looks over to the sideline. Now he rushes to the line of scrimmage, trying to draw those Red Dragons offside. 15 seconds on the play clock. They're going to flip the play here. Anderson now on his right hip. 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left. Out of the shotgun, Germanario looks right, looks end zone. Gladney, touchdown! Touchdown Bombers! We hadn't heard from Gladney since the 1st quarter, but on 4th and 1, he comes up clutch. 15th touchdown of the season for the senior out of Binghamton. Bombers take a 3-score lead. A lot of happy folks in blue and gold at MetLife Stadium today. Joe Germanario, the transfer from D1 Albany by way of Rockport, putting on a show for 45,000 plus. And it looks like he's going to get some help from his freshman kicker. The kick is up and it is good from the freshman Nick Bamondi. 26-6 our score from MetLife Stadium. Ithaca eyeing a 3rd straight Cortaca Jug win with 9:49 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 23-yard touchdown from Joe Germanario to the program's all-time leader in receptions and receiving touchdowns, Will Gladney. Bombers up 26-6 from here at the 61st annual Cortaca Jug.
Seeing Cortland's plan coming into this is they know that the most dangerous part about this Ithaca offense is their ability to pass the ball. But now once Joe Germanario can run the ball up the middle on the sides, it doesn't even matter. Cortland has to respect that. That brings your linebackers up. Now they have to crowd the box, and what does that do? You have Andrew Vito on the swing screens, kind of an extension of the run game, and now Will Gladney over the top. That's really the one deep shot we've seen him really take successfully this game, and it worked.
4 touchdowns on the day for Ithaca, all of them coming from Joe Germanario. That last passing touchdown to Will Gladney, and then 3 rushing touchdowns. 2 of those quarterback sneaks, one about a 10-yard scramble that will be living in ICTV highlight reels for a while.
I hope so.
Here's the kickoff from Nick Bamonde. Deep down the middle of the field into the end zone. Best kick of the day from Nick Bamonde. Both end zones here at MetLife painted in that Ithaca Bomber blue and the classic Ithaca font. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. If you've ever attended a game at Jim Butterfield Stadium, you know what text I'm talking about. If you haven't been to Butterfield Stadium, the butt, as Ithaca football players call it, it's really one of the most unique atmospheres and stadiums in college football. But here we are at MetLife Stadium. We've got people tuning in from ICTV.org, providing the live stream WICB, as Matthias and I have called the games on all season, and other ways that you're able to listen on the Bomber Radio Network. 1st and 10 for the Red Dragons. Handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi runs right into nose tackle Noah Hill. Makes the stop, 1-yard gain, 2nd down.
if you look at these offensive numbers for Cortland, they just have not been able to find their groove, and that's because their defense has been on the field for so long. They cannot get off the field on third down. We saw that kill the Bombers a couple weeks running now, and now they're flipping the script. If you look at Cortland, so just 135 total yards, 27 plays run.
He gives Zach Tripodi 3 yards on that first down. Here's another handoff to Tripodi. Straight into the teeth of that Bomber defense.
Tripodi with a carry.
Ed Longest and Antonio Valley helping out on the tackle. Third down.
Just 27 plays run by Cortland compared to 47 for Ithaca. Again, time of possession has been huge in this game. I said before this game, if Ithaca can come out to an early lead and not make mistakes, then they can control this game, and that is exactly what they're doing.
3rd and 4, Bomber players trying to fire up this Ithaca crowd. Snap to Sigala, hands it to Tripodi, 3rd straight time, tries to submarine to the first down, but Noah Hill gets his arms around him and stops his forward progress. 4th down for the Cortland Red Dragons. They're on to punt again.
And another 3 and out, and it's not that Cortland is necessarily just punting that many times. I mean, they are, but the biggest thing is that they have no opportunity to go for it on 4th down, because if you don't convert here, obviously Ithaca has a short field. You need to start trudging down the field. You're obviously not going to win a football game if you can't score points.
The punt from Liam Casey is straight to Mikey Anderson. Anderson at the 30 makes the first player miss. Anderson threw him out past the 40 to the 45-yard line. Voorhees dragged down
with a return.
Number 45, Dave Stegman, the tight end for the Red Dragons.
And the winner of another Cortaca prize pack is Anna Fonseca, class of 2013. This prize was brought to you by Cayuga Medical Center.
He now flips from the left to the right side of Germanario. Snap to Germanario, quarterback run. Germanario out to the 50-yard line, pushing the pile for an additional yard. 5-yard gain, 2nd down.
Germanario with a quarterback keeper.
I'd be interested to see if Coach Dan Swanstrom has a speed option saved in the chamber, because that is a play that the Bombers like to run. Portland's going to have to respect, as they have all game long, the Germanario rushing ability up the middle. And if he can run it up the middle, maybe he pitches it over to the side. He's over 100 yards on the day.
2nd and 6 from right at the 50-yard line. The ball between the 2 hash marks. 2 receivers to each side for the Bombers. 7.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. 26-6 Ithaca. Coverage of the 61st annual Cortaca Jug live from MetLife Stadium. Snap to Germanario, hits Dante Garcia in the flat on the right side. Garcia out past the 1st down line. Hit out of bounds by Joshua Cordero. A flag comes in after the play, right as Garcia got hit.
Right at the spot, too.
No immediate reaction from the Bombers sideline. The flag came out as soon as Dante Garcia got hit. The officials in a huddle and around the 47-yard line behind the Ithaca offensive line right now.
I think this might be a face mask or a late hit or something like that. I think they're trying to determine if Dante Garcia maybe was already out of bounds when he got hit. I didn't see anything malicious necessary. I'm not sure what this call could potentially be.
As much has been made about the record-setting ticket sales to this Cortaca Jug game.
There is no foul on that play. There was not helmet-to-helmet contact on the tackle.
The officials picked the flag up, but as I was saying, 46,000 tickets sold for this 61st annual Cortaca Jug game. We're going to be keeping an ear out, especially our guy on the sidelines, John Kari, to see when they announce the official attendance for today's game. The all-time Division III attendance record, 37,000, around 37,500 at the Johnny's game, played at Target Field in Minnesota in 2017. After the flag was picked up, 1st and 10 for Ithaca from the Cortland 43-yard line. Handoff to Dante Garcia, jump cut out to the 40. Tackle made by Dylan Dubuque.
Again, this is just an assumption. I don't know the exact numbers here. I do think I see more red than blue in the crowd. Of course, red is very easy to distinguish, a little easier than the blue. And I can't really tell if this is going to break the record, but I mean, the ticket sales are there.
2-yard gain for Garcia. He checks out. Kendall Anderson checks into the game. 2 receivers on each side of the field. James Jarvis lined up tight beside Will Gladney on the right side. Jarvis, the senior tight end out of Falmouth, Massachusetts. 6 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Play clock ticking down, and the Bombers will take a timeout.
Timeout. Ithaca.
First
That's
timeout of
their
the half
first timeout
taken
of the
by
half.
the Bombers. After the timeout, 2nd and 8 for the Bombers. 6:06 to play on the game clock. Ball on the Cortland 41-yard line on the right hash. Germanario takes the snap, drops back. Clean pocket to work with, checks it down to Dante Garcia, middle of the field, out to the 35-yard line. Gregory Alfieri stops Garcia in his tracks, 3rd and short.
Alfieri has been all over the field today, just commanding the middle of it. You can tell why he's one of these captains and a leader for a team.
Quick snap. Check down to Will Gladney on the right-hand side. 2 different flags immediately fly in. Dylan Studer was in coverage. Both those flags flew immediately. Germanario's got his hands out to the side. Joshua Cordero ended up making the tackle.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 87. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
A costly penalty from James Jarvis there. 15 yards backwards for Ithaca. Moves from a 3rd and 2 to a 3rd and 17. Not only does this obviously make the yardage required to gain a first down longer, but it also moves the Bombers well out of Nick Bamunde's field goal range.
Yeah, if you're the Bombers, you want to ideally pick up 5 or 6 yards here. If you can't convert on 3rd and 17, obviously easier said than done. Maybe you get into a position where Brian Fallon can pin this Cortland offense back deep in their own territory. Brian Fallon, known more as a punter who's capable of pinning opponents than for one who is going to necessarily get air under one.
5.5 to play. 3rd and 17 for Ithaca. Ball right at the 50-yard line. Snap to Joe Germanario. Fades back. The screen pass was looking for Dante Garcia, but it falls to the ground. Cortland Red Dragons had sniffed that screen out. Germanario just got rid of it. Vincenzo Pagliaroli was bearing down on Joe Germanario.
Yeah, and what the defensive line did well there is that they recognized the screen, so what that allows them to do is you have 1 or 2 guys rushing Joe Germanario, trying to hurry up the play, and then the other one knows where Dante Garcia is going to be, and he can kind of play up on him. That's exactly what they did.
Brian Fallon on for the punt. He's got his heels at his own 35-yard line. Snaps straight to Fallon, gets it off clean. Spiraling towards the 20 to the 15. It'll bounce out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Good punt from Brian Fallon. The Red Dragons will take over from inside their own 20.
Well, as I say, that Brian Fallon, usually not known for getting that much air under the ball, he boots one over 40 yards.
Coverage of the 61st Cortaca Jug game on ICTV.org, WICB, and the Bombers Radio Network. I'm Ben Carlton, joined by Matthias Weilman and John Vicari on the MetLife Stadium sidelines. Ithaca up over SUNY Cortland 26-6. We've got 5 minutes to play left in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Red Dragons from their own 14-yard line. Man in motion for the Red Dragons is Derek Cruz. Segala takes the snap, looking right side. Fastball to Cole Burgess. Burgess runs out of the first tackle from Kyrie Brown before Rob Daly takes him out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It's 2nd down.
Well, Cortland needs more of that. Eventually, you got to start throwing the ball down the field, especially down 26-6. Just the 5th completion of the day for Segala. Just over 50 yards. On the other side, Joe Germanario only 145 yards, but a surgical 16 of 21.
7 yards on the pitch and cat from Segala to Burgess. 2nd and 3. Segala takes a snap, drops back. Looking for Angelo Foster. That one too high into the Ithaca sideline. 3rd down.
Well, that's the 2nd time this game that Segala has been able to recognize when the Bombers are dropping back into zone coverage. That time, Mikey Rumis coming up to play closer to the line, and Kyrie Brown giving the receiver some space, and just a misfire from Segala. He has not played his cleanest game today.
3rd and 3. Under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Cortland needs to get to the 25-yard line for a 1st down. Snap to Segala, drops back. Uncorks one to Angelo Foster, and high again. Foster and Segala not able to connect. Another 3 and out for the Red Dragons offense.
And once again, Segala late to make his read. He had Kyrie Brown, Angelo Foster, beat on the sideline. And I think if Segala throws that ball when Angelo Foster's breaking out of his route, he can get the 1st down.
Liam Casey handles the punting duties for the Red Dragons. He's on again. Punting from his own 10. Gets this one off. Not his best, but he'll take a very fortuitous bounce for the Red Dragons. My goodness. That ball is going to roll out past the 35-yard line to the 31 before Brandon Khalil downs it. The punt from Liam Casey, definitely not his best today. It bounced on his own side of the 50-yard line, then picked up an additional 20 yards. Matthias, you and I talked a lot about Cortland's special teams play. We talked about that as well with Reese Petty, who handles the special teams for Ithaca. They've got 10 blocked punts this season.
And none today. Again, the Bombers needed to play mistake-free football. That was the key word coming in. You got to communicate and play mistake-free football because you are capable of beating this team. But on the same side, Cortland has a couple players of their own. Ithaca doing a great job of not getting in their own way.
Germanario takes the first down snap. It's a read option to Kendall Anderson. No, actually, Germanario keeps it himself. Fooled me. Germanario picks up 3 yards before Corey MacArthur takes him down. 2nd and 7 from the 35.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. I don't know if too far deep into their territory as the Bombers are today, but a couple of options for the Bombers and runners. They want to just keep milking this clock down.
4 minutes even to go in the third quarter. Ithaca's got the ball on their own 35-yard line on the left hash. IC working from right to left at MetLife Stadium. Bombers up 26-6 over the Red Dragons. 2 receivers on each side of the offensive formation. Germanario takes the snap. Keeps it himself on the quarterback draw. Germanario hit by Vincenzo Pagliaroli.
Quarterback keeper by Germanario.
Taking the ground after 2 yards, 3rd and 5.
Tackled by Smith. 3rd and 5 from the 37.
Bros don't fix it. Why not run it every time if you're Joe Germanario?
Devin Smith helping out on the tackle. 3rd and 5, 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ithaca needs the 42-yard line for a new set of downs. Empty backfield. Germanario dummies the snap. 13 on the play clock. Clock running, approaching 3 minutes in the third quarter. 5 on the play clock now. Shotgun snap to Germanario. Pocket to work with. Rolls out to his right, cuts it back across the field. He's going to wrap the ball up and take it down by 4 different Bombers, or excuse me, 4 different Red Dragons. Gregory Alfieri and Vincenzo Pagliaroli combining on the sack. That will bring on the punt team for Cortland.
Well, that play was doomed right from the start. Devin Smith got right around Brendon Martin. Devin Smith showing why he is so talented on that defensive line. Brendon Martin stood no chance. I think the official was about to throw the flag, and as soon as he saw the sack was coming, he put it right back into his pocket. That was a clear hold by Brendon Martin on the right side. Cortland finally getting his Ithaca offense off the field quickly.
Brian Fallon back on for the punt. Put one inside the 20 as last time. Now punting from his own 21-yard line, takes the snap. The punt is off to Angelo Foster. Foster will let it bounce to the 30, bounces to the 20, to the 15, to the 13-yard line before A.J. Clifford downs the ball. Snap to Scala, play action. Looking deep over the middle of the field. Hauled in over the shoulder like Jason Carlock. Carlock to the 30-yard line, trying to outrace Kyrie Brown. Carlock to the 10-yard line. That's where he's dragged out of bounds. What a play from Cortland.
Pass is complete to Carlock.
Completely flipping the field on the deep post to Jason Carlock.
1st and 10.
The biggest play of the half from the Red Dragon offense. They've got 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Well, that time Carlock splitting the double team from the Bombers. I'm not sure what route Cade McDermott, the high safety, took on that one because Kyrie Brown got beat. Cade McDermott was supposed to be the help there.
It's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. 2 receivers to Scala's left. Play action, looking for Jason Carlock in the end zone. Too high. They throw the flag.
There's a
pass interference. Matthias, that ball was not particularly close to Carlock. It was Anthony Robinson in coverage. I'm looking at some Ithaca fans to the right of our press booth here, and they are shaking their heads.
I think that's the right call, but there was no need for Anthony Robinson to grab him.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. By rule, the ball replaced at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal.
They called it on number 36, Michael Rumas. It was Anthony Robinson who made contact with Jason Carlock.
Yeah, I think that one was clearly on Robinson. Robinson, the ball was already in the air. Carlock, no ability to get the ball, and he holds him. 1st and goal, from the 2-yard line is Cortland. They trailed 26-6, 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Scala out of the shotgun. Hands it to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi off the right side, dives, touchdown, Red Dragons. Nick Mongelli comes out for the extra point to make it a 13-point game. Scala the holder. Low snap, gets it up. The kick from Mongelli is good.
A huge catch and run from Jason Carlock sets up the 2-yard scamper from Zach Tripodi. It's 26-13 in favor of the Bombers, a minute 30 to go in the third quarter. The Bombers have won the past 2 jugs, the first 2 years under head coach Dan Swanstrom. Before that, Cortland held the jugs at their stadium for the past 7 years. As it stands right now, Ithaca up 26-13, looking to make it 3 years in a row with the jugs. Mongeli on for the kickoff. Strolls up, gets this one off. High kick towards the right sideline, fielded by A.J. Clifford. Clifford sprinting out to the 20-yard line, hit right at the 25 by John Listwin, the backup linebacker for the Red Dragons. Ithaca will start at their own 25.
Well, you talk about the chunk plays for Cortland and Ithaca's pass defense, allowing the chunk plays all season long. Before that one, Segala only 52 yards through the air, just in one play to Carlock. 80 yards, basically to the house. Again, Tripodi punching it in, and the following play. If you're Cortland, you need to retain the momentum here. Get off the field if you're this defense.
3-by-1 set for the Bombers, 1st and 10. Germanario takes the snap. Clean pocket to work with, dancing around now. He's going to bail out, checks it to Mikey Anderson. It goes straight through his hands. A drop for Mikey Anderson. A flag comes in late from well behind the play. We're waiting to see what the flag could be here.
Gladney and Stone Murray for Cortland were matched up. I think it was against one of them. Now they're moving it back. This might be against Will Gladney.
Gladney has had some unsportsmanlike conduct fouls in the past. He's a very energetic, very charismatic wide receiver.
Offense, number 2.
That's a pass interference penalty against Will Gladney. I don't know if you had a better shot, a better look at that one, Matthias, but Will Gladney was nowhere in the vicinity of that pass.
No, not at all. That is a silly play. If you're Will Gladney, you need to keep your head in the game. Do not push your team back. Obviously, Cortland has the momentum now after the completion, the touchdown. They have the momentum. If you're Ithaca, you have to snatch it back.
That penalty backs the Bombers up to a 1st and 23 from their own 13-yard line. They've got a 13-point lead over the Red Dragons. Empty backfield for the Bombers. 3 receivers to the left. Germanario's got the snap. Pressure coming. He rolls out to his right. Got Andrew Vito wide open to the 30-yard line. Vito out to the 40-yard line, picks up 20 yards on 1st and 23. Andrew Vito having himself another impressive Cortaca performance.
I think it's going to be a hold on the right side of the offense, Ben. Once again, Devin Smith getting to the backfield.
Offense, number 70. After this is mine, replay first down.
Brendon Martin has had his hands full the past 2 weeks with Amechi Konkwo, number 9 for RPI, and now 91 Devin Smith for Cortland. Talk about Smith, 11 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, and he is giving Brendon Martin all he can handle. Now, Brendon Martin getting a little overwhelmed. We'll see if Coach Swanstrom puts in a running back or something to help chip Devin Smith before they go out for a pass, because right now Brendon Martin cannot hold up.
Wipe that 20-yard completion to Andrew Vito off the board. It's 1st and 29. Let me repeat that. 1st and 29 for the Bombers from their own 7-yard line. Dante Garcia comes into the game. He's the Germanario's left side. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Shotgun snap to Germanario. It's a quarterback drop. Germanario runs away from the first defender, tries to cut inside another. Gets taken down by Vincenzo Pagliaroli. Germanario picks up maybe a yard. We'll see where the official spot is. 2nd down and 28. Picks up a yard.
That is a cutsy play call, because Joe Germanario had a couple defenders coming in on him around the line of scrimmage. He was running backwards to try to get the edge, and he couldn't get it. Good pursuit by Cortland that time. You're the Bombers. Do not abandon your game plan.
Red Dragon players trying to fire up their crowd. 2nd and 28 for Ithaca from their own 8. 7 on the play clock, 10 on the game clock. They've got to get the snap off. 3 on the play clock. Now Germanario's got the snap. It's a handoff to Dante Garcia. Garcia makes the first defender miss, not the second one, or the third. Garcia taken down by 2 different Cortland defenders. Paul Imperiale leading the charge, along with Vincenzo Pagliaroli.
That's the end of the third quarter.
That will end the third quarter. When we return in the 4th, 3rd and long for the Bombers. You've been listening to Ithaca College Football on 92 WICB Ithaca, ICTV.org, and the Bombers Radio Network.
Hello, Bombers! Last year, the football game wasn't the only competition with Cortland. The Red Dragons challenged our Bombers to the first ever Cortaca Jug Giving Challenge to see whose community had more philanthropic pride.
Over 1,000 Bombers made the gift to Ithaca College, beating Cortland and raising more than $95,000 in support of the IC students and programs. This spring, Ithaca College will be asking our IC community to step up to the challenge again and show their Bomber pride by participating in its 24-hour Day of Giving.
This fun and exciting Giving Day will challenge our alumni, faculty, friends, parents, and students to support the areas of IC they love most.
We hope that you'll join us in making this day a major success. Mark your calendars for March 18th, 2021.
Be on the lookout for more ways to get involved.
15 minutes to play here in the 61st Cortaca Jug.
This is Brendan Burke, television voice of the New York Islanders in the NHL on NBC. 2006 graduate of Ithaca College and 2004 radio voice of Bombers football. So we welcome you back to MetLife Stadium for the start of the fourth quarter. Bombers up by 13 over Cortland, but they are backed up here, way back. It will be 3rd and 24 from their own 12 after back-to-back penalties to start the drive. Joe Germanario working out of the shotgun. Dante Garcia to his left. Play action. Germanario has time. Looking, still looking. Towards the sideline. It is caught! Jacob Cooney. And he's forced out of bounds at the 47-yard line. On 3rd and 24, they get 35. And it's a Bombers first down out near midfield.
I'll say in coverage, but there was nothing he could do there.
You cannot allow a first down on a 3rd and over 15. If you're Cortland, you need to get off the field, get the offense back on. A great catch by Jacob Cooney. Hopefully we see that one on You Got Mossed later in the week.
Huge first down pickup for the Bombers. They're now at midfield. 30 seconds gone by in this fourth and final quarter. Bombers up over the Red Dragons, 26-13. Germanario's got the snap, quickly looks to his right for Andrew Vito. Vito spins inside one defender, stiff arms his way from another, diving forward. Stone Murray had his arms around Vito's ankles. 7-yard gain, second down.
I have been so impressed this game with how Jacob Cooney and Austin Hedgeland have been blocking for these Andrew Vito screens. They're doing a great job of blocking and not holding on to jerseys. So easy when you don't know where the receiver is going to run to, but they have held up their own.
6 yards officially on the pass to Andrew Vito. 2nd and 4. Bombers into Red Dragon territory. Germanario looking back to the sideline, now back at the huddle. He's got the shotgun snap. Checks it. No, it's a pump fake. Germanario sprinting out to the 40-yard line, gets the first down. Sandwich between 3 different Cortland defenders. J.J. Pasqualoni, the captain and nose tackle for this Red Dragon defense, making the tackle.
Interesting motions from Joe Germanario there. I think at first he wanted to run it, pulled it back, and then thought about the throw. The right decision, though, he did make it to just run up the middle.
1st and 10 for the Bombers, just about 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter from MetLife Stadium. Ithaca's got the ball on the Cortland 42-yard line. Bombers making some substitutions offensively. 3 receivers to the left, 1 man to the right. It's Will Gladney. Snap to Germanario. Quarterback draw. Germanario off the left side. Got a defender on his back. 3, 4, 5 different Cortland players swarming around Joe Germanario. Paul Imperiale and Gregory Alfieri were the first 2 to get there. Great effort by the Cortland defense to flow to the ball. 2nd and 6.
Hit on the stop.
It is so hard to take down Joe Germanario. He does not go down on first contact. You need 3 or 4 defenders to try to drag him down, and he has such strong legs. He's able to keep pushing the pile. Joe Germanario getting things done with his legs. We thought we'd see more passing in this game. Only 185 yards for him.
Just to keep you updated, Will Gladney currently 74 catches on the season. That's tied for the IC single-season record. Shotgun snap to Joe Germanario, rolling out to his right. Lots of room to work with. There's the catch to Will Gladney. Gladney at the 25-yard line taken down. That's a first down, and that's another Ithaca record for Will Gladney, breaking Joe Palumbo's single-season receptions record, his 75th grab of the year.
With the tackle.
Will Gladney is an unbelievably talented football player.
Well, that's just about the only record he didn't have. He had receiving yards in a season. He had receiving touchdowns in a season. He had receiving touchdowns in a career. And now how about this one? Just the icing on the cake for Will Gladney. Will go down easily as the greatest wide receiver in program history for Ithaca.
New set of downs, 11:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Snap to German Aereo. Tries to hit Andrew Vito on that bubble screen again. Low pass. Vito hauls it in. Turns the corner off the left side. Vincenzo Pagliaroli was all the way out there to push Andrew Vito out of bounds, but not before the New Jersey native could pick up 8 yards. Second down Bombers.
And catch number 11 for Andrew Vito. You talk about his track record against Cortland, Will Gladney has scored in every game against Cortland in all of the jugs, and now Andrew Vito in 2017, 10 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Last year, 5 catches for 100 yards. And how about this year? 11 catches for 78 yards. Only 7 yards per catch, but he has been instrumental in moving the team down the field.
Ithaca into the Cortland red zone. 2nd and 3 from their 18-yard line. Joe German Aereo, quarterback keeper. German Aereo carrying Cortland defenders on his back. Wow.
With a quarterback keeper.
The strength of Joe German Aereo to run through contact. He had J.J. Pasqualoni on his back for a good 4 yards, and he wouldn't go down.
And Dylan Studer. I mean, this is not just one player who's trying to make arm tackles. These are 2, 3, 4 linebackers and defensive linemen. These aren't cornerbacks that are trying to tackle Joe German Aereo. Maybe in a past life, he should have played running back.
Pasqualoni listed at 6'2", 275. Big-time player in the middle of Cortland's defensive line. German Aereo picks up the first down. It's 1st and goal from the 9. 2 tight ends in the game for Ithaca. There's a snap to German Aereo. Read option. German Aereo keeps it off the left side. Hurdles over one defender, but he got a hand on him and tripped him up.
Quarterback keeper.
Gain of 1 for German Aereo. Tackle made by Joshua Cordero.
2nd and goal from the 8.
You combine Joe German Aereo's rushing ability, 134 yards on the ground with 80% pass completion. Again, only 205 yards through the air, which is low for him. But he is just getting things done on the ground, and he is picking all the right holes to run through.
2nd and goal, 9.5 minutes to play in the game. 26-13, Ithaca leads. Trips right for the Bombers. Shotgun snap to German Aereo. Another quarterback keeper. German Aereo cutting back to the left side. He slides down, nothing doing. Good contained by the Cortland defensive line to bottle up Joe German Aereo. He loses 3 yards on that play. 3rd and goal.
Dubuque in on the stop.
Now you heard it, Dubuque making the stop, and Dubuque doing a good job of recognizing where Joe German Aereo was going to run. Joe German Aereo on the ground right now. It looks like he's just tying his shoe. That is the advantage of being at MetLife Stadium. I think if we were anywhere else, we would have thought that he is down with an injury. But right now, it looked like he was just tying his shoe. We saw in the big Jumbotron.
German Aereo pops up, clapping his hands. Big 3rd down play call for the Bombers, currently working with a 2-score lead. 26-13, your score. 8:40 to play in the 4th quarter. Shotgun snap to German Aereo, dropping back. Clean pocket. Looking left, looking right, nowhere to go with it. Dancing around is Joe German Aereo. German Aereo got to block, rifles one into the end zone, incomplete pass. Had a bomber open in the back of the end zone. It was Andrew Vito. German Aereo able to keep the play alive. That was Joshua Cordero who actually lost coverage on Vito. Vito was open.
Vito was open, but that is a dangerous throw to make. I think if Cordero dives a second earlier, he can make that interception as Bamunde comes on the field for the field goal. Smart play here by the Bombers to take the point. They could not pick up the first down. It was 4th and goal.
About a 33-yard attempt for Nick Bamunde. Snap to Rumis. The kick is up from Bamunde. No good. Nick Bamunde pushes it to the right. Freshman kicker with another miss on the day. Still 26-13 in favor of the Bombers. Cortland takes over from their own 20-yard line. Quick snap to Brett Segala out of the shotgun. Segala hits Derek Cruz on the short out route. 4-yard gain, 2nd down.
Cruz with a catch.
Now for the Bombers, be wary of Cortland's ability to get down the field in a hurry. Do not let up the big play. You have the lead, a 13-point lead with 8:20 to go.
2nd and 7, 8:15 to play in the game. Segala drops back out of the shotgun, flushed out to his right. Segala rolling around, back over across the middle of the field to Jason Carlock. Carlock not hit, but went to a knee to make the catch. He's down right at that spot. First down, Cortland.
First and 10 from the 33.
Quick snap to Brett Segala, going deep down the right side, looking for Angelo Foster. The flag comes in. Anthony Robinson all over Angelo Foster, but again, that pass not particularly close to Foster, and Dan Swanstrom is fired up on the sideline. He's making an indication with his hands about how far he thought that pass away was from Angelo Foster.
I think that's what he's trying to argue, but Anthony Robinson needs to get his head around. That is the second time where he's had a defensive pass interference called against him that, quite frankly, the receiver had no chance of getting to.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 10. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That is just silly on Anthony Robinson. He is playing the receivers really well. That time, Angelo Foster doing a great job on him, but Anthony Robinson cannot get his head around.
Head coach Dan Swanstrom getting out almost to the numbers, pointing to the end zone where the previous pass interference was called against Anthony Robinson, and at that spot where it was just called, Coach Swanstrom not happy with these calls.
He was escorted to the sideline.
First and 10 from the Red Dragons from their own 48. 8 minutes to play as Segala takes a shotgun snap. Flush to his right again. Ed Longest in pursuit. Flag comes out from behind the play. The pass is completed to Zach Tripodi, who gets cracked out of bounds by Nick Marone. This one's going to be coming back, though.
I think it's going to be a hold. I think Antonio Valley, first it was Ed Longest that got through on the right side.
Offense. Number 63. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Foster Lugbauer being called the right guard from Poughkeepsie, New York, the senior. That time, Ed Longest and Antonio Valley breaking through and flushing out Brett Segala. This is what the Bombers defense needs to do. We have not seen them put too much pressure on Segala. They've played the run very well, but Segala has had all day to throw, and maybe if they can put a little more pressure on him, he has to make those quick throws. They don't allow him to move it down the field because the clock is not on Cortland's side right now.
Just the fourth penalty for Cortland, 9 penalties for 111 yards for the Bombers. Shotgun snap to Brett Segala, climbing the pocket, pressure again. Tried to hit Zach Tripodi out of the backfield. Pass falls incomplete.
And that's exactly what you need to do if you're Coach Mike Turper. Ed Longest brings the pressure on Brett Segala. He flushes him out of the pocket, and Segala throws it into the ground. Segala not happy with the lack of a call. Ed Longest pushed him to the ground, maybe a little bit extra after, but the officials did not see anything.
Segala not happy. Coach Dan Swanstrom not happy.
We're happy. No one else is happy down there, I guess.
We're happy to be calling this game from MetLife Stadium. What an opportunity. What a day for college football. 2nd and 20 for Segala. He drops back to pass. Going right sideline. Cade McDermott just leveled Angelo Foster. Another pass interference call against the Bombers.
What is it about Angelo Foster that these cornerbacks for the Bombers are just unable? It's not that they're unable to guard him. That time, Kyrie Brown and Cade McDermott, as they have all game long, combining in perfect coverage. And I don't even know what the train of thought is there because there's nothing dirty going on. The Bombers have a 13-point lead. Angelo Foster, no ability to get that ball over his head, and Cade McDermott jumps and goes into his head. I think they're talking about maybe a helmet-to-helmet contact, or if it was a malicious play. I don't quite understand what the mindset behind that is.
Well, it's a similar circumstance where that pass was not anywhere in the vicinity of Foster.
Ball. Personal foul. Late hit. Number 10 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
They called that on Anthony Robinson. Unless we missed something, that was pretty clearly on Cade McDermott.
Just undisciplined football from Ithaca, and I know Coach Dan Swanstrom is going to have an earful for this defensive unit, especially the cornerbacks and the safeties when they get back onto the sideline. Cortland is struggling to move the ball forward. Ithaca is coming with a great defensive plan, and they are bailing out the Red Dragons with their penalties. Ithaca is not getting out of their own way. Again, you have to play mistake-free football to beat good teams. Cortland is certainly a good team, and now we're seeing Ithaca kind of tripping themselves up. They need to get back to what they were doing, maybe a timeout.
Carries an automatic first down.
The officials just clearing things up there. First down for the Red Dragons. 7.5 minutes to play in the 61st annual Cortaca Jug. Bombers up 26-13 over their rival Cortland. First and 10 from the Ithaca 47. Segala takes the snap out of the shotgun. Clean pocket to work with. Rifles went to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi spun down by Antonio Valley. 6-yard pickup.
The reception.
Second down.
I'm still in shock. I don't know what was going through Cade McDermott's head. Because not only is that a late hit, but Cade McDermott going up and hitting Foster around the head.
Shotgun snap to Brett Segala on second down. Deep down the left sideline, looking for Cole Burgess. Burgess looking to make the grab over Tommy Diver, but incomplete, and a flag comes out.
Now that is a call I agree with. Tommy Diver, a shorter cornerback. He did not play the ball at all. He went right for the receiver. He hit Burgess before he had a chance to make it.
Number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Penalties killing the Bombers right now, Matthias. That's 4 on this drive, if I'm not mistaken, for virtually all of Cortland's yards.
And automatic first downs. Cortland has not had to do anything on offense this drive. And why complain if you're the Red Dragons, if Ithaca's just going to give you free yards? My goodness, I have not seen a unit play this undisciplined under Coach Dan Swanstrom or under Coach Turper.
Well, that's who I'm looking for right now is defensive coordinator Mike Turper on the sidelines. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for the Red Dragons, 7:12 to play in the game. Scala dropping back, going left side for Cole Burgess again. Burgess makes the catch inside the 5-yard line, down he goes. What a grab by Cole Burgess over Anthony Robinson. The Red Dragons have 1st and goal inside the 5.
Now that is Cortland earning their yards right there. Cole Burgess, what a catch over Anthony Robinson.
Good coverage from Robinson as well. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. 2 receivers to each side for the Red Dragons. Snap to Scala, looking right, over the middle of the field, nearly intercepted by Nick Garone. Garone got one hand on the ball and was nearly able to come up with his 5th interception of the season. Incomplete pass though, 2nd and goal.
Well, Garone was in that position because he fooled Brett Segala. It was a very similar play against St. John Fisher where Nick Garone was able to make the interception. That time Nick Garone shows the blitz and then bails out last second. Segala did not see him. Nick Garone around in the end zone, able to drop back into coverage, nearly comes up with the interception.
Cortland driving right into a mass of Ithaca fans in this end zone. 2nd and goal, high snap, Segala gives it to Tripodi. Tripodi racing for the left side, gets to the pylon, touchdown Red Dragons. Zach Tripodi wins the foot race over Miles Haynes. It's a 1-score game in the 61st Cortaca Jug.
Man, Cortland is making plays when they have to, but Ithaca is gifting them this game. They are letting them get right back into this one. They are playing undisciplined football. And again, give credit where credit is due. Cortland is making the plays. Bombers need to change something up on defense. When their offense comes back onto the field, they got to have a sustained drive.
Mongeli on for the extra point to make it a 6-point game. The snap, the hold, the kick, all good for Mongeli. Kick is up through the uprights. With 6:53 to play here in the game, the Bombers hold a 6-point lead, 26-20. Again, 6:53 to play. Ithaca up over Cortland, 26-20. We're live from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Thank you to all the listeners and viewers from WICB, from ICTV.org, from the whole Bomber Radio Network. Mongeli's kickoff is up down the middle of the field. A.J. Clifford grabs it at the 5. Up left sideline is Clifford, runs past the first tackle, not the second. Empty backfield. 3 receivers to German areas, left, 2 to the right. 6:20 and counting on the game clock. 8 yards for a first down. German taking his time. Now he's got the snap. He's going to take it on the quarterback draw. German out past the 30-yard line. He stopped right at the 30. Tackle made by Gregory Alfieri. 3rd down.
Jake Villanueva pulling from the right side over to the left. Does a great job of springing that first tackle.
3rd and 2.
That first block for Joe Germinario. Portland's crowd's going to get into it now. This would be a big 3rd down for the Bombers. They need to keep converting on these 3rd downs, keep milking the clock. They have the 6-point lead now, just 5:45 to go.
Bombers 7 of 13 on 3rd down today. One of their strengths all season long, 53% for the year, 3rd and 2. Dante Garcia, the tailback. Andrew Vito moves in motion. Portland in man coverage. Snap to Germinario. He's going to keep it himself, sprinting off the left side. He's got room. Germinario to the 35-yard line. That's where he gets taken down. First down, Bombers.
Oh, you want to talk about a gutsy play call. The quarterback keeper on the left side, Kyle Berna and Andrew Testani combining with Jimmy Puckey, pulling on the side, and they really needed to get that push. Joe Germinario just got the edge.
Well, I saw the replay on one of the video boards here. It was actually Dante Garcia who got the key block on the edge for Germinario there. New set of downs for the Bombers. 5 minutes and counting to play in the 61st Cortaca Jug. Ithaca up 26-20 over SUNY Cortland. 3 on the game, on the play clock. Germanario clapping his hands for the snap, gets it off. Another quarterback run for the Bombers. Germanario right into the teeth of the defense, taking big shots all game long. That's the 31st rushing attempt for Joe Germanario today, by far a season high.
MacArthur with a stop.
Picks up 4
Second
yards,
and 6
second
from the
down.
39.
Ithaca taking their time, getting back to the line of scrimmage. Need to get to the 45 for a first down. 4:20 to play in the game. 15 on the play clock. Again, no hurry for the Bombers here. The clock is on their side. The whole Bombers offense looking to the sideline. 6 on the play clock now. Snap to Germanario. Quarterback keeper. Faked it to Dante Garcia. Joe Germanario out to the 50-yard line. The ball pops out at the end. The officials are going to blow this play dead, saying Joe Germanario was down by contact.
Ooh, a sigh of relief from the Ithaca sidelines. This team usually so good at holding on to the ball and protecting it. Joe Germanario has only fumbled it once or twice this season. That time, he was just down. This is a Cortaca Jug that there's always a lot of lead changes. Last season, we saw 21 unanswered from Cortland near the end of the game. Of course, they could not come out with a victory. The Ryan Bronson interception at the end. This year, 18 unanswered for Cortland. Can they do it again?
Important to note here, Cortland's got all 3 of their timeouts left. 3:30 to go in the game. First and 10 from the 50. Dante Garcia shifts into the backfield behind Joe Germanario. He gets the handoff. Garcia, 2 hands on the ball for safety, picks up 2 yards.
Garcia with a carry.
And now Cortland will use their first timeout.
And it's important for these running backs, of course. You do not need the extra yards. Have 2 hands on the ball, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Protect it like it is your life.
Second and 8 for the Bombers. 3:19 to go on a stopped clock. Ithaca up 26-20 over the Cortland Red Dragons. Germanario alone in the backfield. Now here comes Dante Garcia again. Same motion as a play ago. 8 on the play clock. Snap to Germanario. Quarterback draw. Germanario cuts back to the left side.
Hi everyone, I'm Bruce Beck, IC class of 1978, currently the lead sports anchor at WNBC TV, starting my 24th year at this station. But time to go back to my days at WICB and ICTV. What a crowd here at MetLife Stadium, over 45,000 strong, annihilating the old D3 attendance record by more than 8,000 fans. And this is really a celebration of the Cortaca Jug, the Division III version of Michigan, Ohio State, USC, UCLA, Auburn, Alabama. I love the enthusiasm today, and this really is a testament to the Ithaca alumni and the entire Ithaca community. Everyone showing their support for IC and all of these terrific student athletes. The Bombers have never trailed this afternoon, and now they have a chance to put some distance between them and the Red Dragons. It's 3rd and 6 at the Cortland 46 with a little over 3 minutes to go. Ithaca up by 6. The Bombers come out in a bunch right formation. Germanario takes the snap, fakes the reverse to Cooney, steps back, fires downfield to a wide open Andrew Vito, who takes it in for a touchdown. What a call by Dan Swanstrom. Joe Germanario accounting for his 15th day of the day as the Bombers take a commanding 32-20 lead in the 61st Cortaca Jug.
My goodness. We were talking about what Coach Swanstrom would do on 3rd down. Would he run it up the middle with Joe Germanario? Would he throw it short for Andrew Vito? Just try to pick up enough yards to get the first down. How about the fake and then the deep shot to Andrew Vito, your most reliable receiver all game long? My goodness. What a call.
It was a play action to Dante Garcia, then a fake reverse to Jacob Cooney, then a pump fake for good measure. Joe Germanario looks and sees Andrew Vito wide open at the 5-yard line. No one around him, gets into the end zone for a massive touchdown. The Bombers, as it stands right now, are trying to go for 2. Pair of receivers to the right side, 1 receiver to the left. Germanario takes a snap, handoff to Kendall Anderson. It's a flip back to Dante Garcia. Garcia reaching for the pylon. stopped right at the goal line. Big time tackle made by the Red Dragons there. Mark Anthony Dulce popped Dante Garcia right at the goal line. Matthias, they were going for the Philly special there.
Yeah, they were. They were trying to look for Germanario. Cortland covered it up really well. Excuse me. Garcia decided to run the ball, as you're seeing on the Jumbotron. And great recognition by Cortland, because Garcia, it looked like he was going to get that one, and he just got stonewalled right at the goal line.
32-20 your score here from MetLife Stadium in the 61st Cortaca Jug. Cortland with 3:02 to work. Of course, the Ithaca defense has been often penalized today. We now send it down to John Vicari, who's got more information on the Bombers' penalties. John? We apologize for the technical. Nick Monday on for the kickoff here. We apologize for the miscommunication. 3:06 to play from MetLife Stadium. Ithaca up over Cortland 32-20. But Monday kicks this one deep down the right sideline to Angelo Foster. Foster fielded at his own 2. They try the reverse. It's back to Cole Burgess. Burgess runs through the first tackle, tries to dive over the second, but David Nieto makes the stop on Burgess. Good field position for the Red Dragons, though. They'll take over at the 34-yard line. 3 minutes exactly to play. The Red Dragons need 2 scores.
And for Cortland, you got to move the ball down the field. You got to do it quickly. This is an offense that has struggled to throw the ball all day long. Besides that 80-yard completion, 174 total passing yards for Brett Segala, not counting the 27-yard completion from their backup. And now Cortland needs to move the ball down the field quickly. Just one timeout remaining.
Cortland working right to left. Shotgun snap to Brett Segala. Quickly looking for Angelo Foster. One sails out of bounds. No penalty. Second down.
I like the play design, though. What they're doing is they're lining up in the spread offense. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Of course, the Bombers have to play with 3 high safeties around the 50-yard line. So they're trying a little, I don't know what you're going to call it, like a cross and then a streak down the side with Angelo Foster.
Segala takes the shotgun snap. Checks it down to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi running away from Nick Garone. Then it's Kyrie Brown finally taken to the ground. Crucially inbounds. The clock runs. Cortland's got just 1 timeout remaining.
Absolutely. You need to make sure you drag them down inbounds if you're the Bombers. Make the clock keep running.
3rd and 6. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to play. Quick snap. Segala's got it. Out of the shotgun, climbing the pocket now. Flushed out to his left. Segala reaching for the sideline. Nick Garone chases him out of bounds. Segala picked up a yard. 3 plays. Now Cortland's got 4th and 5, 4th and 4 officially. They need to convert here.
That time, the left tackle for Cortland shoving the defensive end into the ground for the Bombers. The officials running right over to make sure nothing happens.
A must convert for Segala. He takes the shotgun snap, looking to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Segala's going to try to get it with his feet. He'll pick up the first down. Slides down at about the 47-yard line. Anthony Robinson was there to make sure he went to the ground. First down, Red Dragons.
The clock stops until their ball is set.
Clock running at 2:15. Snap to Segala. Dropping back. Short pass to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi out past the 50-yard line. Dragged down, out of bounds. Nick Garone was in coverage there, also made the tackle. 2:10 to play. 12-point lead for the Bombers.
This is what you're expecting to see, a lot of crossing routes for Cortland, and if you're Ithaca, you allow this to happen. You have to play off.
Segala's got the snap. Rajay Chandler dives at his leg. Segala rolling to the right-hand side. Ball broken up by Rob Daly. Daly diving to make a play on that ball. Cortland receiver was in the area, but Rob Daly was able to get his hands on that.
We almost saw a repeat of last year. Rob Daly saw that one all the way. Not the best throw from Segala. Could not come up with the interception, though.
Derek Cruz, the target on that throw from Segala. 3rd and 3. Clock stopped right at 2 minutes. Ball placed on the left hash on the Ithaca 46-yard line. Bomber and Red Dragon fans alike jumping around here at MetLife Stadium. 3 receivers to the right. Segala's got the snap. Looking to pass. Now rolls to his right. He's got lots of room to rush. Ray J. Chandler in pursuit. Segala will get out of bounds past the first down. Clock stops at 1:52.
An interesting package for the Bombers. Obviously, you're only going to rush 3. It's Ed Longus and Nathaniel Potts, 2 bigger boys out there that are used to playing on the defensive line. But then you're putting Rajay Chandler, who's a linebacker, out on the field as John Haddock comes back in. Rajay Chandler has more speed, obviously, than the defensive end, so he's able to pursue Segala.
Snap to Segala, first down. Going right side for Derek Cruz. Pass broken up by Kyrie Brown. The tremendous afternoon from Kyrie Brown continues with that pass breakup. 2nd and 10, a minute 48 to play.
That is tremendous from Kyrie Brown. Again, textbook stuff to punch it out. In the hands of Derek Cruz, looked like he was going to the sideline, and Kyrie Brown, before he can get that second foot down, can cruise. Brown fist right on the ball to punch it out.
Clock stopped at a minute 48.
Hello, I'm Kenneth Bradley, MMJ for Jersey Sports Zone, Ithaca College class of 2018. Red Dragons with the ball, down 12. Segala looks left, throws to Carlock on the jailbreak. Great pursuit, Millie and Kyrie on the tackle. Red Dragons sending the ball as quickly as possible, trying to get down the field and score. Segala in the gun, looks left, throws, ball is tipped up in the air, and it's intercepted. Anthony Robinson with the great concentration, catching the ball and getting both feet in bounds to take over for the Bombers. Some flags thrown in the middle of the field. Looks like there's a bit of a scuffle. Wouldn't be the Cortaca rivalry without some bad blood shown, but Ithaca has taken over with just 1:29 left to play. That will seal the deal, the interception by Anthony Robinson. Bombers, players, and coaches alike going ecstatic on the sidelines.
You talk about there being a lot to go on. It is important to note, even if the flag is on the Bombers, it's going to be after the play. Anthony Robinson leading the Liberty League in pass breakups all season long. No interceptions. How about the perfect time to make his first one of his career?
The pass to Jason Carlock, who wasn't able to fully secure it, got hit by a Bomber defender. The ball popped straight up into the air, and Anthony Robinson had to keep both feet in bounds, with only 1 foot in bounds, but was able to do it, securing the interception, and all but securing this win for Ithaca.
The Cortaca Rivalry replay was made possible by Cayuga Medical Center, Dell, and Tompkins Trust Company. As always, go Bombers.
The Bombers have the ball, up 12 points, with a minute 30 to play in the 61st annual Cortaca Jug.
It's not obviously the yardage and the impact of the penalty does not matter on the game, because it is clear that the Bombers will come out with the victory today. But Brett Segala, you hope there wasn't malicious, that he made contact with the official. You don't see that too often. Obviously, you cannot touch the officials. If you heard a little talking on the sideline, Mike, that was the head coach, I believe, for the Cortland Red Dragons yelling at the officials. Obviously not going to be happy with how this game is going.
That's Dan McNeil, the longtime head coach for the Red Dragons. And the Bombers are in victory formation. Germanario takes the first snap, kneels it down. Cortland will use their third and final timeout. But the Bombers have all the seniors out there. Will Gladney, Isaiah DeHady, Kendall Anderson, both in the game. Jimmy Puckey, offensive lineman for the Bombers, the backup right guard, part of a long lineage of Puckey offensive linemen for the Bombers. His older brother Bobby graduated a season ago. He's a senior this year, and his younger brother JoJo, just a freshman on the team.
I mean, what makes this rivalry so special is that it's D3 football, and the fact that it is still going on over 60 years later is incredible. And then you talk about the lineage in the family. You talk about Nick Garone. His father played in the mid-'80s. He had an older brother who played on the offensive line. Both of them were All-American. Nick Garone has a shot of cracking that list this season with a tremendous season. This game means so much to both teams, and it was a very well-fought game. Stand's starting to clear out a little bit more. Obviously, this game has been decided already.
Germanario scampering around, trying to kill as much time off the clock as he can. Cortland unable to stop the clock anymore. We run under a minute 15. It's a 3rd and 17 from the Cortland 18-yard line.
3rd and 17.
Very bizarre finish to this Cortaca Jug game.
And not at all what we were expecting to see today. You talk about some things being weird and not consistent with what we would have expected, but some things stayed certain, and that is Andrew Vito with success against Cortland in the Jugs, Will Gladney scoring in a Cortaca Jug, and Joe Germanario being able to dissect this Cortland defense 4 years running now. Of course, the first 3 with the Brockport Golden Eagles.
Germanario takes the final kneel down.
Germanario takes a knee.
Jumping into the arms of Will Gladney.
Not technically
This
over
game
yet.
is not technically over. Cortland's players are starting to file onto the field, and there comes Coach Dan Swanstrom. Here come the rest of the Bombers. The Jugs are staying on the South Hill. Ithaca College wins the 61st annual Cortaca Jug 32-20 at MetLife Stadium. 45,000 in attendance today, setting a Division III attendance record. 3 rushing touchdowns from Joe Germanario, 2 passing touchdowns, the final one of those proving to be the nail in the coffin off the creative, ingenious play call from head coach Dan Swanstrom. The play action, fake reverse, deep shot to Andrew Vito. We've got zeros on the clock. The Bombers and Red Dragons shaking hands at midfield. For the 3rd straight year, Coach Dan Swanstrom wins the Cortaca Jug, and they stay on the South Hill.
The final score, Ithaca.
Wow, what a game. It is a tremendous game that 45,000 people decided to show up for.
Thank you for attending the
From start to finish, never a dull moment in this one. Portland 18 unanswered in the second half to start coming back. Of course, that 80-yard completion to Carlock. The Bombers will keep it on the South Hill. 3rd straight year.
Sorry, Matthias, I just watched A.J. Clifford do a full-blown back handspring in celebration. The athletic ability from Clifford, my goodness, that was as impressive a play as he's had all season.
I rated a 10.
Well, Nick Barone, just Lambo, leaped into the Bombers fans at the back of the end zone. Kyrie Brown doing the same thing. All the Bombers, as soon as they get done with this handshake line, running over to the massive Bomber fans in the end zone here at MetLife Stadium. What a moment, not just for Ithaca College, the players and their fans, who are, of course, thrilled, overjoyed with the result of today. An incredible atmosphere from start to finish today here at MetLife Stadium. Your final score of the 61st annual Cortaca Jug, Ithaca College 32, SUNY Cortland 20. That's all we've got from MetLife Stadium today. But before we go, a handful of thank yous to give out. Thank you to Jeremy Menard, our manager of TV and radio operations here at Ithaca College. He's in the booth next to me. He has been all afternoon. Tremendously, tremendously helpful in organizing the student media presence here at the game and just providing an unbelievable opportunity for Ithaca College students to take part and cover this game, and really an experience that I don't know if you could possibly match anytime in the future. A big thank you to Justin Lutz, Susan Bassett, and the entire athletic department. A big thank you to Paul Stanion, Alan Shelter, and Steve Blenner from ICTV helping us out, coming together, a whole team effort really to bring you this game. Big thank you to our producers, Clay Davis and Lorenzo DeScala. Our sports director, Severin Lavenstein. Thank you, sir. The halftime crew of Dan Pizzani, Paul Brecht, and Jackson Lawrence. A big thank you to those guys. And the WICB station manager, Peter Champelli, thank you. Again, the final score from MetLife Stadium, Ithaca 32, Cortland State 20. This has been a presentation of Bombers football on 92 WICB Ithaca, ICTV.org, and the Bombers Radio Network.